installers of, all different types, resi guys, commercial guys, eco guys. What mattered for me was that there was clear evidence that they would take back in what the feedback was given and then improve their product as time went on. Of course, as well, I looked at the background of the company, the manufacturing expertise, the growth, the fact that they were publicly listed and have been for some time, and what they've been doing in other segments of the market internationally. That was also a part of my decision. But for me, the reason why I took the plunge and I decided to bring them to the UK is because it's clear that they were an installer-focused brand. They were willing to listen to me, work with me, and feed that back into developing products. I was heavily involved with the new split system that I championed, and I tried to get over the line with them, which I'm grateful that they took everything in and they brought it to market. And the same way with the smart box as well. I mean, it's great. It's IP65. It's 100 amps straight to your main fuse board. And it's a fantastic price. So, I think for me, it was just about how they're able to listen to me, work with installers, and it's been great ever since.
Cool, nice one. And for any of your existing customers or just any installers who are watching this right now, and they haven't ever fitted a Hinen product before, and maybe they're going to be interested in purchasing and fitting the new A-series system, what is the honest version of who Hinen are for them and what their experience is going to be when they do install Hinen battery?
I would say, I would say exactly, who Hinen are. They're a multinational, globalized inverter and battery manufacturer. Their history within portable power stations is where they kind of began. They did a lot with cables for these stations as well, supplying the likes of Amazon Basics, Anchor at the time too. So they come from a strong manufacturing background. I would say for those who haven't heard of the brand, who haven't seen what it's like or want to give it a go, what I will say is that from my experience of working with them, they are an installer-led and installer-focused company. They will listen, they will work with you, and I think people should give it a go.
Cool, nice one. And I'm confident, I'm sure you are, that a lot more people will start too. Isaac, you have flown a very long way to be here today to talk to us about many things, such as the Australian market, your experience with Hinen. Please introduce yourself and tell the people watching who you are and what you actually do day to day for Hinen.
Yeah, so like you said, my name's Isaac. I'm like the technical manager in Australia, based in Sydney. So what I mainly do sort of day to day is helping installers and also the customers with issues with any Hinen systems, whether that's just general questions or, if something's gone wrong, how do we fix it, and how to make sure that all systems are working 100% at all times.
Okay, cool. And speaking to you yesterday, you're young, you're fresh, and you've been in the industry since you came out of university. Hinen went into Australia in 2023, and within no time they became a top 5 brand manufacturer in that market. You can probably agree, and from our limited knowledge on the Australian market, but Australia is a harder market than this one in terms of like the conditions, the climate, the red tape, the rules, the regulations, the compliance. So with that in mind, what has the Australian market taught you about potentially what Hinen are going to bring to the UK, and maybe the different challenges involved, or how easy it's going to be for UK-based installers to install Hinen?
Yeah, so like you said, with the Australian market, it is probably one of the more difficult ones. It's got a lot of rules. It's great for solar, so there's a lot of battery companies that go there to get with the customers. There's a lot of installation companies as well. So yeah, and as you mentioned, Hinen managed last year to be the top 5 battery brand in Australia, which we're pretty proud of. And so yeah, with the sort of lessons, it was a pretty big learning curve at the beginning. New country, new rules and everything, so you got to figure out how to fit in and how to get everything going. And so what we mainly learned is, as Taj was saying, is listen to the installers. They're the ones who are doing it every single day. They know, they're talking to the customers, they know what the customers want, they're the ones who actually have to put it on the walls so they know if it's good. And because there are so many battery brands in Australia, it seems like they're popping up every day. It's if you don't listen to the installer needs, they're just going to go, well, there's 6 other brands I can install. I'm not going to use yours. It's just too much effort.
Yeah.
So it's just listening to them, figuring out how do we make not only a good system, but a system that's easy to install, looks nice, the customers want it, the installers want to install it, and then pushing that in. And then, so once we've learned that, we can bring that to the UK as well. And then so we know already based on the Australian new installers what's good. And, the UK ones, we get some, because obviously different market here, so there is going to be some differences. So just sort of adjust what we already have on the Australian one and bring it here to hopefully make it as easy as possible and make the installations fly through.
Would you say that a lot of the feedback and a lot of the being hands-on with installers and hearing the things they got to say, learning the lessons you guys have learned with the Australian market and the installers out there, would you say that has fast-tracked the R&D? Because obviously you guys have both mentioned, and from what we know, Hinen are an installer-led brand. Would you say all of these things have basically given Hinen a great opportunity to just hit the ground running with the new A series in the UK?
Yeah, exactly. It was just sort of listening to them. We heard the sort of issues, like we had the split system before, which was sort of a bit clunky to start with, a bit too many parts. So we listened, and then now we got that all-in-one series where it is just the batteries, the inverter on top, makes it a lot more seamless, looks a lot better because it is that all-in-one, and just makes it just more easy to install and better for the customers as well.
I think just building on the points you just mentioned there, the UK didn't necessarily need another battery brand. It needed a brand that would listen to their installers. I think that for me resonates more highly than anything else from my experience of dealing with Hinen. They take in what feedback they need and they listen to the market and they adapt and move very quickly. So I think if you couple that with the fact that they've built a great localized presence here, at the end of the day, installers want to feel comfortable that, if there is an issue, if something does go wrong, if there is something that's needed on site at any time, there's someone here based in the UK that can pick up the phone, diagnose the problem, and help the installer to get through the job. We want to be moving the company, the brand forward, and we can only do that with great support. And I think, it was clear to see from the start that Hinen were very adamant and very passionate about building a strong base here in the UK. And I think they're well on the way to doing that.
To be fair then, on that, a question for you, Taj, and this was for Isaac, and you can obviously add on to this, Isaac. Hinen have been around and they've been listed on the Shenzhen Stock Exchange, but they were founded in 2004, right? It's been around for 22 years. A company like that doesn't just stay around for 22 years without doing something right. So there's a massive sort of feature around like financial security that an installer can feel when choosing Hinen. But from your experience, Taj, obviously you've worked with multiple manufacturers. For an installer, what does choosing a brand like Hinen, multi-billion-dollar entity, what does that do for an installer in terms of like their confidence and also like the warranties on the products? Can they be secure in their choice in Hinen, from your experience, that they're going to be around in 10, 15, 20 years' time when they choose to install a product on a homeowner's wall? Most
definitely. I think, you've touched on it yourself. I mean, they've been listed on is it Shenzhen? The Shenzhen Stock Exchange since 2004. They're vertically integrated from the top down. They manufacture everything themselves in-house. That is their background. Their background is in manufacturing. The move towards creating a product to market that would be a brand is relatively new for them. But the pedigree is there. I mean, it speaks for itself. They're not going anywhere. They will stand on their warranty. And I think it's very important. I mean, there have been many other manufacturers, that have had issues and difficulties in the past here in the UK. It's I understand that installers may feel that way about Hinen, given that it is relatively new. But I think they will definitely be here for the long run. They've built a base here. They've bought the support here. They've got a great team. And they will 100% be here to stand on any warranty and there to support you for your installs.
Cool, absolutely. And Isaac, what would you say from your experience that potentially, building on lessons again, what have you seen that you guys maybe got wrong, and how did that translate into being able to sort of like fix those problems and bring that into the UK so that obviously you didn't make those mistakes again?
Yeah, so like I said, with the first sort of system we had, it was like the split system. So it needed the inverter, it had the batteries, and also like a separate isolator for the batteries. And, you know, while it was good, got it out and like got the system ready to go, what we heard from the installers, it's just too much. It's you have to it like adds another hour of installation to it. There's more parts, just more moving things that could go wrong. So we listened to that, you know, put the circuit breakers on the batteries themselves, just cut down something that they don't need to do. And then also just make the system look nicer as well. There's not like this added part on the cost that's more that they have to look at. Just a nice sleek system. And also just like with the support, we found like obviously something's going to go wrong with this system. It's not going to go right every single time. As much as we would like it to, it's not going to happen. So we found that, you know, just with the support, you always just want someone to be there for the installer, just so they can have a chat. You can figure it out together if possible, or if, you know, something that we can't fix on the day, how do we get that done as soon as possible in the future? So just making sure that the installers know what's going on, we can help them out at all times and just get every system working for as long as possible.
Cool, lovely stuff. And Taj, from your side, from a distribution side, was there anything that you saw in the Australian market and it gave you confidence that Hinen's success out there would translate to the UK market, and what were those things, do you reckon?
Well, I mean, of course, you know, the fact that Hinen had been successful in Australia is massive. It's a mature market. Obviously, Isaac's touched on it. It's a difficult market. There is red tape. There are tough regulations. I think with commissioning and documentation, I think it's a bit of a challenge over there. But it wasn't just that. I mean, I didn't think that just because they were successful in Australia, they were going to work here. I mean, there was work to be done. You know, they needed to understand that the UK market was different. They needed to understand that a strong presence here was required. They needed to localize their operations here. And they have done, you know. From my initial conversations that I had with Dustin, Steve and Jay, they really did fill me with confidence. And yeah, that's why we're here today. I think they've done a great job, and the brand will continue to grow because of the support they've given to myself and the confidence that they gave in to me, you know, in those early days. And now we're sat here in a beautiful warehouse having a conversation about it. But yeah, a lot has happened, a lot has changed, and it's my belief that it will continue to go that way, and they will continue to grow.
Cool, absolutely. And just to shine some light on obviously the people that you're giving a lot of credit to.
Yeah.
Dustin is country manager, Steve is vice chairman, and Jay is obviously UK technical support. Yeah. What does it mean to you being able to have people like that on speed dial?
It's fantastic. I mean, it's great. I mean, I've got a great relationship with all three. Dustin, as a country manager for Hinen, we catch up quite a bit. You know, it's great that I'm based here in Birmingham, and so is Hinen. The HQ is here in Sutton. So it's nice that I have that relationship with Dustin because in distribution, it's very important to have strong relationships with your manufacturer partners. So yeah, I think it's great. It means that I can get things done quicker with product development, with other things that I want to get done or move across. It's fantastic. Jay as well from the very beginning, amazing guy, one of the best. Shout out Jay. I know he's inside at the minute. I wish he could be here on the pod, but yeah, Jay's amazing.
I think he's going to come and do the commissioning with us.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, nice. Yeah, Jay's fantastic. You know, he's everything I've ever needed. He's always been there. He's quick to react. He's very professional. But he's also very knowledgeable. His background working with other manufacturers, but also as a spark and an electrician himself, he knows his stuff. And Steve, you know, Steve is amazing. When I first actually met the team, Dustin, Steve and Tom were all there together. Yeah, Steve's confidence in the Australian market, his plans and his ambitions for what he wanted to do in the UK aligned perfectly with what I thought could be possible. Yeah, he's a very busy man, but yeah, I also have a good relationship with Steve as well. He's great.
Cool, nice one. Now, obviously, we all know in the UK that there are so many people contending for the top spot, top 2, top 3. It's a very, very busy market. So let's actually talk about the A15. So Isaac, just talk me through exactly what we're working with here. We know it's an all-in-one inverter, battery, BMS, emergency power supply in the box. What does this actually mean, and why does it matter to the man or the woman putting it on someone's wall?
Yeah, so with the A15, it's just sort of like a more bigger battery system that's just sort of easier to install for the installers. So it's got that built-in BMS, so it's just sort of that one battery unit that you can just put on the wall or sort of floor mount as well. It is a bit heavy. And then with that inverter sitting right on top of it. So it's just sort of two main components, just put them on top of each other, or you can do side by side. And just, yeah, it's a nice, efficient system that makes it easy for the installers to actually install.
Installation practice-wise, because obviously you mentioned it is heavy. I think it's
It's about 117 kilos.
yeah, 117 kilos. So putting them on top of each other, probably. How many could you get on top? Would you say safely?
We limit to two, so one on top of the other. But we also just recommend you can do front stacking, so put them in front of each other, or even just side stacking, so just put it against the wall.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it makes
and
it a
they're
bit
pretty
easier.
slim as well, aren't they?
Yeah, so I think it's 180 centimeters. Oh no, sorry, 180 millimeters, so 18 centimeters. So it's just that like slim fit. You can put it on the wall and barely even notice it's there.
So most UK homes, they'll have like walkways down the side of their houses to get to their gardens. Do you think most people would feel quite comfortable just having, because it is slim, do you see those being places that will commonly get installed?
Yeah, definitely outside on the side of the house. That's one of the most sort of common places that's installed. It's sort of out of the way for the most part, but then even if you do need to walk past it, it's not going to block your entire walkway. It's just sort of another feature on the wall. Look past it as you walk by, but yeah, it's not going to impact you. And with the, it's got that IP65 rated, so that means it's waterproof and dustproof, so it has that outside capability to stay out there.
And obviously we need that in the UK.
Yeah.
It's been pretty nice for at least 2 months now, but it was raining for about 5 months to get here. So, okay, and for both of you really, Taj, starting with yourself, so there's 14.4 kilowatt hours in one B15 battery, which is obviously massive. I think it's probably, I'm pretty sure it's one of the biggest batteries like per module in terms of like usable storage.
Yeah.
But it is actually scalable up to 86.4 kilowatt hours. So from your perspective, Taj, who do you think is the 86 kilowatt hour a day user?
I mean, for that amount of storage, I'd definitely say it will be leaning towards a three-phase like commercial. From a residential standpoint, although we have seen a lot of change over the past few years in terms of, installers and homeowners understanding usage a lot more, and they are starting to put more in their homes. I would definitely say that for that amount of storage, it would be something like commercial, maybe backup power as well in the case of grid falling down or dropping. So. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
And from yourself, what are you seeing in Australia? Like what's typically, the amount of battery storage that a homeowner would get usually?
Yeah, so 86 kilowatt hours, that's probably way more than just a normal residential
definitely.
Customer needs. But it just means that they have the option to, have that amount of capacity if needed. Like Taj said, if they want that sort of off-grid capability where if the power does go out, they want to make sure that they have power. That's always an option. But definitely,
it's like how long you can have power out for.
Yeah, exactly. It's like for a normal house.
You're gonna have an outage for what, an hour, 2 hours?
Yeah.
Is there a lot of like grid arbitrage going on out in Australia?
For the most like residential sort of urban areas, not really. But like when you go, we have the big country houses just in the middle of the outback. So obviously some of those customers, they can have it out for a while or just out completely, so they want that big capacity. But I mean, for the most part, it's like about 20 kilowatt hours, so 2 of those batteries should be enough for
but just on that point as well, Isaac, I mean, all the inverters, correct me if I'm wrong here, they are all off-grid ready, right?
Yeah.
So they could work just as well on off-grid as well.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
We see it in the UK, like it's pretty much grid arbitrage central here, because obviously the tariffs are so like lucrative. So from like my perspective on the industry, I don't think there's probably not many homeowners out there using 86 kilowatt hours a day, but
No, definitely not.
there's so many people out there who are buying as much battery storage as they can, because they can just fill it up and then obviously use what they need to throughout the day, and then covering their roof and panels to export back to the grid. So on that, in terms of efficiency, so the A series is 98.3% efficient, and in simple terms, like what does that actually mean to a homeowner?
It just means more power for the homeowner, really. As obviously the system's never going to be 100%, so there are going to be some losses. But by having that high efficiency, it means that the actual storage in their batteries is going to be used for their house. It means they're going to have more sort of usage, not used as much from the grid, and then they don't need more batteries to have up to that storage. Just that one system will be enough.
Cool, perfect. And in terms of because you can't put a price on safety, right? And I think this is such a key thing that homeowners are all considering, in addition to price, in addition to aesthetics, but in terms of safety. Could you just shed some light on the different layers of like battery cell safety in the B15 product, just to put people's mind at ease? Because obviously Hinen, to anybody watching this, most people, it's a new brand coming into the UK in a market which is extremely saturated. There's lots of manufacturers competing, so many choices, but safety is number one priority. So could you just run the people watching this through and our guests about the safety levels that B15 products contain?
Yeah, so obviously with the like lithium ion, or just batteries in general, sorry, there is always that risk. There can be sort of dangerous if done wrong. So it is that safety is the top priority. And like by using the lithium ion, that's sort of more safer compound we found than some like the cobalt and other stuff like that. So the lithium sort of like level, it's got, so the battery actually has 5 layers of the safety, so it's got the lithium ion, it's got that IP65 rated, so it is that waterproof and dustproof. Make sure that nothing comes in. The batteries, they have that BMS built in, and also just other constant sensors going on in the system. So we're measuring the voltage at all times, measuring the current, measuring the temperature around the system, making sure everything's in that usable range. And if anything does sort of creep up a little bit or get out of the range, we can just shut it down remotely and just make sure that nothing does go wrong with it. And then
so the system detects all of that itself.
Yeah, at all times it's got running the checks, running the voltage, running the temperature, making sure that everything's in the usable range, that is all safe to either charge or discharge a battery.
And the heating pads as well, right, Isaac?
Yeah.
So it's got the temperature sensors that will relay back to what the operating temperature of the battery should be, and then it will use the heat pads within the battery to make sure it's at that at that temperature, and it will be able to discharge at that efficiency.
It's also a fire extinguisher.
It's got the built-in fire extinguisher, so obviously as a last resort, if something does go wrong.
What would have to happen for that to kick in?
I believe it's got a temperature sensor, so when it reaches a certain temperature, it goes off and just puts out any chance of a fire happening.
Of course, as decompression as well, but that's pretty basic these days. They've got decompression too.
So 3 inverter options on single phase, I believe, 3.6 up to 8. Sorry. There's single phase and 3-phase inverter options. Sorry, and then I believe the single phase ranges from 3.6 up to 15 kilowatts. So just run us through the different inverter options for single phase. How many MPPTs per inverter, and essentially what type of inverter people would typically choose, like a homeowner or an installer consulting a homeowner, and potentially why they would choose different inverter types. Yeah,
so I think in Australia, I'm not too sure about the UK, but mainly the houses are single phase, so it uses that 3.6 to the 15. And in Australia, the main one we have is that 10 kilowatt. That's sort of the one that's been selling more, and that's just sort of like it can cover the whole house at all times. You can, you got enough solar that can charge up your batteries, and then enough storage that can last you throughout the night. And that one's got the 4 MPPTs on it, and it's got like that backup for it, so the if the grid goes out, your batteries will be able to provide power to the house and everything like that. I'm not too sure here with the 3.6. I'm not sure if that's more common, but that's
in the UK.
Yeah.
I would say it used to be a lot more common, uh, but now, with the landscape changing in terms of how much storage people are, wanting, we've seen the inverter rating increase as well over the past year. I would say, past
People
year
would
and a half,
only
2
do the
years.
3.6 really to like bypass the
Yeah, so
DNO
obviously
typically,
with
wouldn't
with
they?
the 3.6, it's easy for an installer to get it fitted. There's no application. It's just a G98. They notify the DNO, and then that's it. It's done. If you want a 5 or a 6, an 8 or a 10 or a 12 or a 15, it's a lengthier process.
Yeah.
Some parts of the UK, the DNO can be a bit more difficult. It can be. You could find yourself wanting to fit an 8 or a 10, but because of the capacity at that point in time, wherever the grid might be, you might only get away with a 5 or a 6. So
Well, because
yeah,
of like export limitations.
exactly. Yeah. So we need to protect the grid. The grid does need to be upgraded in some parts of the UK. But what it means for us is that we're noticing, and I have been noticing it a lot more over the past few months, it's getting more and more difficult to get to those higher inverter ratings. Of course, people want them,
Yeah.
but it's getting trickier. I would say probably the most popular is between a 5 and a 6. Yeah.
So on that then, Taj, you sell inverters every single day.
Yeah.
When it comes to selling customers a Hinen inverter or a Hinen battery,
Yeah.
what are the questions that you're running into at the minute? What are installers mostly asking you about the product? Apart from obviously how much does it cost?
Yeah. No, it's
Which we will be revealing the price later on in this event.
To be honest, it's not necessarily about how much it ever costs. That's not what installers ask me. They want to know a little bit about the brand. They want to know a little bit about where it's come from if they haven't heard of it, which I'm sure after today they might well have done. But it's more about, look, is there support here? Is it easy to commission? Am I going to make money off it? Installers want to make sure that they're able to make something off that install. They want to make sure there's backup support. They want to make sure that if there is an issue on site, they've got someone to call, someone that's going to answer the phone. So, yeah, I mean, those are the kind of questions that a new installer would ask me. Yeah.
Do you know if there are currently, or there are plans from obviously the conversations you've had with like Steve or Jay or Dustin for like a 5-year warranty upgrade potentially in the future? I think it comes with a 10-year warranty standard currently.
I think the batteries are, is it 8,000 cycles or?
Yeah.
The batteries, I think the batteries are warranted to 8,000 cycles or 10 years.
12 years for the
12 years for the
12-year
A15.
warranty is standard.
12-year warranty is standard. So, yeah, I mean, I haven't had conversations in regards to increasing warranty yet, but it's definitely something that I can discuss with Dustin, Steve, and the rest. But I don't think it should be a problem. I think it's usually insurance backed anyway, isn't it? So there would be a cost to it, but I think it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, lovely stuff. Well, I think it's probably time that we go and take a look at the product itself getting installed live by Matthew Butler from Lumos Energy. We'll also be joined by Isaac and also Jay. I think he's in the office. He's going to come and basically just help us take a look at the system, how it gets installed, a bit about the app, and we will be back shortly with a couple new guests. So we'll see them.
Hey guys, so now we're here with the actual system itself. So we got the A-series inverter and that A15 battery just down below. So please.
Yeah, so I'm Matt, I'm from Lumos Energy. We fitted the first one of these in the UK on Monday. And to be honest, as soon as it turned up about 10 o'clock, we turned up at 10 o'clock. It took us to about 11:15 to actually have it mounted on the wall, and it's the first time we've ever seen the product. So straight away, we opened up the box, and instantly it had everything we needed in it. Wall brackets, the handles were already on, because the battery is 117 kilos.
Yeah.
So the handle's already on, and it's actually really easy to get straight out of the box. It only took 2 of us, and straight on the wall. So that was really simple. The wall brackets come with a template, so all you have to do is literally put it straight on the wall, mark out exactly where it is, drill them, comes with all the bolts and the fixings which you need, and then literally mount the battery on top. There's 4 screws at the bottom, which you just have to literally just tighten up, nice and easy. That holds the battery straight in place. From there, we got the inverter out of the box, which we have the exact same one as this, which comes with the mounting plate, which is right behind, which some of you might have seen on some videos, but it's very simple. We sit it straight onto the top of the battery, mark it out where it's got to be drilled, drill the fixings across the back, across the top, and then from that point, we can literally just slap the inverter straight on top. We obviously have to fix it to the battery first. There's 2 screws. Fix the inverter straight on top, and from that point, it's very simple. As long as you've got your AC already to that point, and the DC down from the solar panels, from there, this is basically the same setup as what we had before. So we've got an AC isolator from here. This has got covers, which go straight over the sides. You unscrew them with 3 screws. The AC is all on this right-hand side. Same with the Wi-Fi logger. And then if we look at the other side, this is where all the DC comes in, where you connect the battery straight to the BMS. Your DC cables come straight in here. It also comes with a CT clamp, which is direct, comes with 3 meters of cable, so it's nice and easy if you are close to the incoming main. That plugs straight in the side. So the whole install was extremely easy in my eyes. We did have to extend the CT clamp, but it could be extended. We paired up the cores on a Cat 6, and we extended about 7 meters, so it was actually perfectly fine. Worked straight away, updated the firmware, done. And also, where we were installing it in Plymouth, the Wi-Fi wasn't very strong. It's a large house. So the Wi-Fi was at the front of the house, so we were a bit worried about the signal. We tried it straight away. The signal worked perfectly, but it was kind of low. So the next thing we done, we actually fitted this aerial, which comes in the box as well, and that boosted it straight up. So we didn't have any issues, connectivity issues.
Perfect.
And then, if you look in here, it's like your main breaker for the grid. So obviously we have to switch that on, switch on the AC. It literally turned on straight away, started doing the commissioning process. But we'll talk about some backup. So on this side, you got the grid coming straight in. You connect a backup load out of this one, and you can have a generator port or a smart port straight in here. So you've got everything you need on this side, basically. It does come with partial backup straight away, but that's when you mess around with these switches. So you've got the bypass or you've got the load, so you have to leave it on load if you want a backup. And if there is any issues, it'll do the backup circuit straight away. But yeah, for us, I think we're used to fit in one system mainly. I was always a little bit cautious about trying something new. As soon as this come out, we started down and look at it, and obviously we got asked to fit the first one. And in my eyes, it was extremely simple, very fast. We enjoyed it. We like the look of it. It's ultra slim, and because it's 14.4 kilowatt hours in a battery for one battery, it's nice and easy. It'll suit most house types.
Yeah.
But yeah, from our point of view, it's safe. It's easy to install. We really enjoyed it, and we'll be fitting quite a few in the future, I think.
Perfect. And yeah, how did your commissioning process go?
So the commissioning process is as simple as long as you have the app downloaded, Hinen Install for the installers. from that point, it is extremely simple. You don't have to scan anything. You can actually, let's lift that up. So the Wi-Fi logger, once you've got your phone out and you start doing it, you can press this button straight on here. Use Bluetooth and it'll find it straight away. And from there, it just takes you through every step very easily. So there's no messing around. It's not like, as long as you've got the Wi-Fi and you've got the customer's email address, that's all you need. You don't even need the customer there. So for us, we set it all up for, well, we'll meet Greg in a minute, but we set it up for Greg's parents, which only got a mobile phone and no iPad or anything like that. It was very simple for him to just go, oh, there's an email, and it's got the password on there and his email address. He just downloaded the app and basically signed in. We've already had it set up, so we just linked the plant straight to him, so he doesn't have to do anything at all, which I found, really, really easy, because a lot of them can be a bit mind-boggling.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one was really simple. Obviously, we've only done one. We've done this one today. Again, it was the same process, nice and easy. And the end user gets to pick their own tariffs, and it's usually uploaded on there already. So they can find their tariff, and it has all the rates in it.
Yep.
So they can do that themselves, and we can help out with that process. And this, we can change, obviously, the use. So you can have self-use, isn't it? Self-use comes set as.
The default one.
Yeah, default self-use, like most systems. You can have time of use, so we set that one up for Howard yesterday, and he had time of use straight away, so we set up on his night rate, so he was charging his battery tonight. So he'll have a full battery this morning, and we want to see what that's doing today with the solar panels plugged in. And then also you've got the AI built into this, so you don't have to mess around with it too much if you don't want to, so it's really simple for the end user, in my opinion. As soon as they press that, it's monitoring the weather, monitoring your usage, monitoring the import rates, the export rates, to charge and discharge the battery to suit them, to make some more money back. But yeah, we'll go through the commissioning process in depth in a minute, but yeah, it's nice and easy. And also what we liked about it was you actually have it on screen what it's doing. You can see everything, which is the same as what you're looking at on the app. You can get straight through the menu on this. You can change the settings on here. It's, in my opinion, for the customer, Howard absolutely loved it. We showed him everything, what to do on there. We went through all the settings with Eric, the technical help. And yeah, for an installer, for us to install that, it took 2 guys, I think it was about 4 hours, including running AC cabling back to the board, doing all the board stuff, all of that. This actual part, wiring this all in, I think we had it mounted in about 15 minutes and then wired within the next half an hour, and it's the first time we've ever seen it. Right. So it's really simple from our point of view.
Yeah, and with that direct CT connection as well, it also has the ability on the app, you can change the direction which it's facing. So if you put it on the board, realize that it's facing the wrong way, instead of actually trying to get in there, flip it around, just go on the app, change what direction it's facing, and it should be all good to go. Which
we've done quite a few times. Some of our installers, yeah. So yeah, it's nice. We've just gone through that on the app then. Yeah. And it's literally press of the button, change the direction on it, which helps, yeah, really, really well actually. I liked everything about it. I liked how sleek it was, how thin it is. The customer was the same. He liked how skinny it was up against the wall, nice and neat. Obviously all our installs are nice and neat, so we keep everything tidy, hide all the cabling. One thing I would say to any installer is, you can, if you wanted to, we done this yesterday, we had AC on the right-hand side, and we put the DC isolator on the left-hand side and ran our cables in that way. But behind this BMS, if you wanted both isolators on the same side, as it's quite tight, you've got plenty of space up through here, through the BMS, to actually run cabling back around that way. So for ease, it doesn't matter where it goes really, because it's not actually that wide. You usually have this about this amount of space anyway. You can have your isolators over this side. So you can wire it any which way. We are toying with the idea of trying to bring cables straight through the back, so you don't have any of this, to make it look a little bit more neater. But it's really easy wiring-wise, and to make it look neat, it was kind of, yeah, easy. Yeah. So yeah, we really like the product. I think we're going to be starting to offer this as soon as today's done. So it's actually launched, and then we'll have it in our showroom. So people can come down and have a look at that, see it for themselves. But yeah, it's great because we had obviously Isaac, we had Eric, we had Jay on hand. We didn't actually need any of them. Eric was there and he just watched us do the whole process. So he was there just in case. But yeah, it went really smoothly from my point of view. So yeah, we'll be definitely installing it, 100%. But yeah, I think this is obviously a good feature as well, which I was going to show. A lot of the batteries don't have this. You can see it, see what it's doing. It's charging at the moment, so you're seeing it's 20% for each bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
20%.
Yeah.
And you can see what it's doing, so it's running at the moment, charging.
Yeah.
And then you can obviously double check straight on the screen. So you can see the percentage of the battery at the moment. It's still charging. We've set it to charge today. You can see exactly what's happening just by a press of a button. So yeah, I like it. I like it. It's nice and sleek. And I'm guessing in Australia you're fitting them outside all the time, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. Majority of the time it's outside in the sun. So.
And outside in the sun, and it performs well.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, we don't have that much sun here until this last couple of months, but and also it's IP65, so we can literally put it anywhere, which we're doing now. We're doing them all outside in garages, stuff like that.
Yeah, no need to worry about any weather.
No need to worry. I like the fact also because this is all sort of protected, all the wirings in here, you know, it's IP rated, you know, glands and everything, but it's all in here.
Yeah.
That was the other thing I wanted to show, is the fact how much room you actually get in here to work with it. And then when you come to do the testing of the system on the DC side, sometimes it's really hard work getting your MC4s back out to plug them into your tester. But these are flat, so you can just literally just take them straight out. That was the easiest part for me yesterday. It took me about 30 seconds to test it all. So
Perfect.
it's a quick install, so but it's got everything you need. Everything you need. You don't have to ask for a base plate. You don't have to ask for the feet. You don't have to ask for wall brackets. It's all in the box.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you go, oh, there's nothing to put it on. Whack it straight on the wall.
Yeah.
It's nice and easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love it. We absolutely loved it yesterday. So I think we're going to be installing quite a few of these.
Yeah, perfect. Glad to hear.
Yeah, so
Um,
start getting
Yeah, and that was the only other thing we wanted to say about. That's the battery disconnect, the breaker underneath here.
Yeah. So yeah, so that built-in DC isolator.
This is the out, so that's what it's like to fit one, live with one. Now the menu sell it, we have.
But also, this isn't the finished product because you'd have the corners straight on here,
Yeah.
which
And yeah, the removable handles
and
on
then
the batteries.
removable handles. So as soon as you install it, you can unscrew it pretty quick. Take these out, and you've got a cover, grey cover, so it's all matching all the way down.
Yeah.
I think it's 3 screws on this side and 4 screws on that side, and that's it. You're done. So it's simple. It's very simple. Everything comes in the box for us, every single screw. So you don't really need anything extra on your van. You get the MC4s, you get every connection you need. So yeah, it's very simple for us. I thought, you know, with a new bit of kit, you're always a bit wary. How's it going to go?
Yeah.
How long is it going to take us? Stuff like that, you know. And we found it really easy. So it's definitely a product we would be installing and doing it fast.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, yeah, glad to hear that you guys enjoyed it. Found everything as quick and smooth as possible. And yeah, the commissioning, the customer app, all of it went according to plan.
Yeah, real smooth, really smooth, nice and easy, no issues. So we were happy. We're very happy.
Perfect. Glad to hear. Well, yeah, we should have some questions at the end. So if you guys have any other questions about the system or installation, just put them in the chat and we can find those and answer them at the end of the stream. Yeah. Should head back to the couch. Okay.
You want to talk through the mic.
Wherever I'm going.
So you rotate around it, and then just make sure when you talk to your right, you go to the left of it.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Welcome back, everybody. We hope you enjoyed watching the system get brought to life, obviously, by one of our good friends here, Matthew Butler from Lumos Energy. Matt is an installer based in Bath. He actually carried out the first A-series inverter and B15 battery install in the UK the other day at our friend Greg Penn's house. It was actually Greg's parents' house where the install was carried out. But Matt, what is your verdict on how these systems are installed? What do they feel like? How does it go?
Premium. We liked it. Like I said, on the install side over there, I think it looks great. It looks great. The customer was very happy. Your dad was extremely happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks great. It's nice and easy to install. We found it simple commissioning process. I wasn't expecting that. You know, I'm kind of a guy which sticks to what he knows. So fitting a new product is quite a daunting thing.
Especially in the time frame that it
Especially in the time frame,
unfolded.
yeah. Found out about it Thursday afternoon.
Sorry about that.
Surveyed it Friday, fit in Monday. So
Nice.
it went, yeah, you know, stuff like that doesn't happen very often. And doing it in such a tight time frame, it just worked really well. Like, that was the easiest part. Like, no offense, Greg, but I'm not going to do your dad's slate roof anymore. But yeah, that was the tough part. But the Hinen kit was so easy to fit.
Good.
So easy from our point of view. So yeah, I think going forward it's going to be our main brand.
Nice. Happy days. Hold on, mate. I've still got that sort of
Well-
question to ask you.
I want to get it in there.
Yeah, nice.
I want this wall in the showroom as well.
Oh, good luck, mate.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a shame because that is probably not coming apart.
Yeah, you built that well.
Yeah, it's all right. Cool. Greg, you are the only person here today who is not in this industry. Please introduce yourself.
I feel like a bit of an imposter, and amongst such experts. Yeah, so I don't know a lot, but no, my name's Greg. I'm probably better known as Man with a Hammer, certainly on social media, and I am, for my sins, now an Instagrammer, an influencer. Not a word I like, but it's a word most people kind of know. But for the last 7 years, I've been renovating my own house, my forever home, hopefully, a 30-roomed ex-naval Georgian lump in Plymouth.
Wow.
And when you guys sort of got in touch, got quite excited until I realised that a listed building and solar panels sadly don't mix. I wish I'd known a little bit more, because actually I think the battery system, even for people with very old homes like me, would make a lot of difference. But my folks moved down to Plymouth to sort of join me. We're from Yorkshire originally, and they're doing up their own forever home as well, and conscious of energy bills and things as they get older. And this sort of seemed like a really exciting thing to be able to introduce them to, and Matt came down and did a wonderful job of installing it.
Yeah, I
Yes,
hope
he
so.
did.
Yeah.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, but your parents had looked at solar before, but I think they put a pin in it.
Yeah, they sort of looked at it. They were considering it. I think keen to make the house as kind of future-proof as they can going forward, conscious of energy prices rising, wanting to be a little bit greener as well. My dad made the switch to an electric car, which I was quite surprised about a while ago, and they're quite forward-thinking in a lot of ways, but I think there was a bit of confusion around it. They weren't sure quite how it all worked together. I think they sort of could understand the solar bit of it, but the energy storage side of things, which is really what seems to unlock a lot of the kind of benefits of it, really.
Yeah, definitely.
And also they really care about sort of what it looks like and how it goes together. And I think one of the things that they were really surprised about with the new Hinen kit that went in over the last few days is, given how much storage and capacity it's got, how neat it is, how slim it fits to the wall, and also that there's nothing kind of coming off it. They were probably expecting lots of wires and boxes and fuss, but it's just a really neat kind of all-in-one box with it all stacking on top of each other. It's really lovely and close to the wall. It looks very kind of streamlined and elegant, and yeah, it's just a really, really neat solution that I think is going to unlock the house for, hopefully the next 20 plus years for them, and just is a real kind of comfort blanket to actually allowing them to enjoy the house to its full.
I said that it's not dependent on the weather either, because you can charge the battery every night.
Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
What we set up for them, yeah.
Absolutely. So year round, they're getting the benefit from it, not just on the odd sunny day that we have. Yeah.
How did it feel for you, Matt, when It was 120 kg going on a wall.
Well, funny, I didn't actually. I picked it up and I put it straight back down, and the two boys picked it up and put it on the wall. So, and I was chatting to Greg, so I was watching them do it. But yeah, that's what I was saying about that, like having the handles on there. Obviously, when I looked at the box, it said 134 kilos gross. I took it off the back of the van, and put it down the driveway. I was like, that's heavy. But then as soon as you get it out, obviously it lightens up a little bit. You've got the 4 handles already attached. So I was like, oh, this is easy. Went to pick it up, and it's a lot easier holding a battery with 2 decent handles. So yeah, to be honest, it wasn't as bad as I thought. And then when you work it out, it's 14.4 kilowatts. So it's a big battery,
Oh, it is.
but in a small little box. So it's just a heavy little box, which is for installers, we're used to that. You know, every
Yeah,
battery's
true.
heavy. So yeah, but the handles made a massive difference, like straight away. And the best part, like I was saying over there, was the fact that it come with the wall brackets, because we were worried about, oh, we need to fit it on the wall because your dad was going to be doing the driveway.
Yeah.
It comes with them already in the box.
In the box.
That's not
Done,
like a
dusted.
standard practice, really, is it?
No.
Wow.
You have to ask for the wall bracket
And it
most
costs
of the time.
more
so-
as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Wow.
So everything come in the box, the feet, and you can have it on ground mount feet and wall brackets. So it was perfect for us.
And they're really neat as well. The way, I mean, I sort of arrived at the same time as the kit, and you guys pretty much arrived. I saw it kind of being unpacked, went in to help my dad make a cup of tea for everyone. And by the time I was back out with the tea, it was on the wall. You know, it was really, really quick. And those little brackets that it sits on, you know, with the little sort of scalloped edge, are actually really, really smart. You know, and it just makes the whole thing. It keeps, you know, it's got it off the floor. It means my folks, when they get around to doing the driveway, they're sort of mid renovation, the same as me. It can sit there. We don't have to worry about it. It's not going to move. It's just a really kind of all-in-one done and you know, really fantastic design. Yeah,
That's it. And it, like where we put it as well, like obviously it's a nice house, so we want to make sure it looked nice and everything like that. And the Hinen kit just sort of worked. You know, it looked like Greg was saying, it's so sleek and neat. And where we were putting it, underneath a big bay window, around the corner a little bit, and it's just spot on. So it just worked really well there.
How long did it actually take to get on to the wall, like the drilling and everything? How long was that?
I'd say from the moment we opened the box to having it all mounted, it's probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes maybe.
So
a
by
push.
the time me and Alex got there, mate, there's nothing to film.
Well, that's it.
I
Yeah,
can believe it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I missed it out. You know,
Because as soon as we opened the box, it's just everything's there. I didn't even need to look at the installation instructions. We knew exactly, all right, yeah, we need that, that, and that. Perfect. Let's get the template out, put it straight on the wall, leveled it out, marked it up. And it was on pebble dash. We had to chip off a bit of the stones to actually sit it on there properly. But yeah, drilled that in, then literally lifted the battery straight on 4 screws. So then the battery bit was done. So
Nice and simple.
yeah, really simple, really simple. And I had my apprentice there as well, and he's simple. So he figured out as well straight away. He knew what we were looking at. So
Nice.
well, and I can believe as well, by the end of the day, you know, even before the solar went on the following day, that the battery was up and running. My dad was showing me that he could use the app and see it all there. You know, and he's nearly 70, and he's not the most kind of technologically advanced person in the world, but he was absolutely delighted. You know, you could see the energy that was being used, see what was coming from the battery, and halfway through the install, it was up and running. You know, it was amazing. Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, we had it up and running within a few hours, I think, because we've done the AC side and just powered it up. I got it all commissioned.
We probably spent majority of the time there just chatting.
Yeah, that's it.
That's probably the
literally,
longest part of the install.
Yeah, and you turned up at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
11 o'clock, and yeah, we spoke 2 hours of just chatting away, and then went, oh, we need to get on with this now.
Press the button now.
Yeah, you just press the button, turn it on.
Nice.
But yeah, like you were saying with your dad, it's like he figured out the app straight away. He knew what he was doing because it was already set up by me. So I had it all set up for him, put all his details in, and he just got the password and email address and password, and downloaded the app, logged in, and he was like, oh my God.
It's working straight away
Yeah.
there. There was, you know, no faff at all. Yeah, amazing.
When do you reckon you'll go back to? Because obviously for this install we did the 3.6 just so it could happen within the 4 days that we
Yeah,
managed to get it
that's
to
it.
go. But obviously your parents are going to get a 6 kilowatt inverter like for free, just so that the system's just it performs better. It's
Working
more
at its,
optimal,
yeah.
a bit more future proof. Did you talk to them about that?
Yeah, spoke to them about that because obviously the 3.6 is great to get it in and working. They've got quite a large house. They're gonna pull a little bit more than that, so we're gonna upgrade the inverter. But that's it's going to take us a couple of minutes again. Like
Yeah.
literally turn it off, unplug, take the old one off, put the new one on. So that's nice and simple. And at the same time, we're actually going to go around to Greg's house and have a look to see if we can fit a battery at his house.
And so it begins.
It makes so much sense, and and it's something that I. A lot of my followers and myself, we have an interest, and like millions of people in the UK, we live in old houses, mine's listed, but I think even if you're in a position not to be able to have the solar elements, I hadn't realised that 2/3 of the saving actually is coming from the battery from the storage, and so that it makes it so much more relevant to someone like me that either can't or doesn't want to sort of do the solar elements, but can still benefit from the tariffs. Is also kind of protected a little bit from. Energy cuts and that sort of things like that, power cuts and things. So it's for someone in a house like mine, and I think for the people that follow me that have an interest and a passion for old houses, and having something as neat and as kind of easy to put somewhere as the Hinen kit's been, I think is an absolute no-brainer.
100%. And just on that, Greg, because obviously you renovate houses or a massive house for a living, and you're one of the few like influencers or creators out there who engages with your audience. Like, you reply to every comment, you're answering DMs. Are there many conversations happening around energy? Do people ask you about different, like, do I get a battery or solar? Do they ask anything around that?
Yeah, massively so. And I think it's looking at what people can do in older homes particularly. That is my niche. It's my house is old. I've got a passion for restoring old and making them beautiful and retaining that kind of look and feel of a period property. But people don't want to live like it's the 1800s anymore. We kind of want to be warm, we want to be comfortable. Admirals back in the day had 4 enormous coal vaults. It's got 17 fireplaces, and it would have had an army of staff trying to keep the place warm. I unfortunately do not have any of those things. So it's always looking at ways and means of utilising technology in a sort of sympathetic way that allows you to, run and use and live in a beautiful old building, but in a way that is kind of acceptable to modern standards. So whether that's anything from looking at smart switches and sockets and LED lights through to smart thermostats, so you can heat rooms individually without needing to rip out all the plumbing and starting again, to energy solutions that kind of are sitting behind it all, that allow you to tap into it. So I think ways and means of retrofitting into old buildings, and this is great because this is kind of where it comes in right at the starting point. Without doing anything else, you can straight away immediately benefit from much better value power. I think is a huge way without really disrupting very much at all. There's a lot of things that you can do to make your home cheaper and easier to run that are incredibly disruptive, and for certain houses like mine, completely illegal. So it's something like this where it's bolt on, and I mean at my place you'd be done in about 2 hours, and straight away I'm feeling the benefit, rather than something that is very, very invasive to kind of install. And also you look at some of the things that have come out that with a sort of Emperor's New Clothes and spray foam insulation and things that have been ruining a lot of houses. This is, if you ever wanted to, you could take it off and it's gone, and it's not caused any damage to anything, So I think it makes a lot of sense for people in older homes looking at ways and means that they can, make themselves a little bit safer in terms of energy prices. Yeah.
And that's one thing about the size of the battery, 14.4. It's massive.
We were saying earlier, I think, I know there's obviously big batteries out there, but in terms of per module, it's like one of the biggest.
Yeah, that's it.
For domestic use case.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And for the price as well, which again, remember, we will be revealing the early bird price, so just stay tuned for that. But yeah, I mean, it's not a massive, huge battery, but there's a lot of storage within it.
That's it. UK average 3,500 apparently kilowatts a year. That's like 10 kilowatts a day, so you've got more than enough from having one battery fitted in your house. So for my opinion, it's just easier.
Do you think you're making like a default spec?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, for the size of it, price, we'll figure that out in a minute. But yeah, for the size of the battery is a big thing. Size of a battery, and it's one battery going on the wall. You don't have to stack. You can do, obviously, if you start going up. Because that's what a lot of people are doing nowadays, more and more electricity. Rather than pushing stuff on gas, you can save money by putting the batteries in place, charge it up overnight at a low rate, and then use it for aircon, use it all day long. So
exciting times.
Yeah,
I think you're going to do plenty of Hinen installs, mate.
Hopefully, yeah.
And Greg, from your perspective, and you've obviously dealt with a lot of contractors, a lot of trades businesses, in your time doing Admiral Art, but from like a solar and battery installation standpoint, what would you say to a consumer watching this potentially about the things that they should potentially be looking out for? How do they know they're going to work with someone like Matt, who's trusted, did a great job for you? Because you only find that out after the fact, right?
Yeah.
What would you be looking for in an installer? Or if you gave advice to someone looking for an installer, what sort of things would you tell them to look out for?
I guess kind of reputation, looking at the reviews, looking at the people, the jobs that they've done previously. I would imagine if they're installing kit like this that looks as sharp as it is and is right at the kind of cutting edge of what this technology can do, then it's probably a really good starting point as well. You know, trades have been, especially for my folks, I actually do so much of it myself that I don't have all that much to do with them, but they've had real challenges finding decent people, you know, people leaving halfway through a job, not doing the work as to, you know, the standard that it was. But actually I got the call, I was travelling up last night as these guys were still finishing off, and I got a call from my dad as I was in the car saying, you know, yeah, all done, it looks amazing, and they cleaned up after themselves, you know, they left the site really tidy, you know, really, really professional. It's little touches like that that go a really long way, I think, to the sort of the homeowner's experience of having people in their house. You know, people, it's quite invasive having people in your house, and so it's, you know, those little touches make an absolutely massive difference. And yeah, they were absolutely delighted. And certainly if their whole renovating experience had been as easy and as smooth and as polished as that, it would have, you know, the stress levels would have been significantly lower, shall we say? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I took a lot of the stress. I think getting it done so fast.
And from your side of the coin as well, Matt, you know, you've obviously come across jobs that have been completed by other installers where potentially you've got to site and you've gone, what the hell's happened here?
Yeah.
You know, how do you think going forward, if installers were to choose a brand such as Hinen, do you think there'll be less of these mistakes or, you know, bad installation practices? And
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong.
no,
You shouldn't be doing it if you go wrong with Hinen.
because it's
so
easy.
simple. Yeah, so simple, so easy. It's got all the technology in it. So if you're doing something wrong, you know, that's going to be up to the installer. But they physically just can't. You know, I was saying on the install side, it's plug and play. It's so simple. For us installers, it's quick, it's easy. You can't go wrong. So, and like for us, we're quite, I call myself a premium brand, you know, premium installers without the price tag. You know, we're always looking for a decent bit of kit. We want to choose the right panels, all those things, and sell it to the customer. So me talking to somebody about Hinen is going to be an easy sell because it's got everything we need in it. And I think, yeah, moving forward, it's going to be a household name, to be honest. Like, if people haven't heard of it, I heard of it a while back, but bringing this, you know, into the UK and the new tech, it's not going to take long to, everyone's going to know about this, this bit of kit, so.
Cool, 100%. Well, nice one, guys, thank you. So there we have two sides of the fence, one from obviously the homeowner's perspective and the installer's perspective. But now we want to talk to the guys who sell it en masse. So we have three titans of the industry joining us. Adam Firth from HDM Solar. We have Colin Campbell from BHC Distributors. And we also have our good friend rejoining us, Taj Sohal, based in Birmingham from Power Warehouse. So yeah, guys, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
How was the journey?
Yeah, brilliant. Very
Yeah.
good. Enjoying the weather today, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Sorry about yesterday as well. Obviously, you made the trip for the
Yeah.
rehearsal, and we're doing it live.
Yeah, it's great. It's fine. It's
Cool.
fine.
Lovely stuff. How you doing, Adam? All good?
Yeah, really good.
Where
Yeah.
did you travel from today?
Just Sheffield.
Sheffield.
Yeah, it's only an hour and a half away, so our HQ is based in Sheffield.
Okay, nice one. Cool, gents. So we have three different titans, three different distributors covering three different patches. Obviously, yourself, Adam from HDM. I believe you have 5 branches across the UK. Is that
Correct,
right?
yeah.
Taj based in Albury, and Colin, you're based in Northern Ireland.
Correct. Ballycastle, County Antrim.
Cool, lovely
Yeah.
stuff. Starting from yourself, Adam, if you could just introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? And what does your day-to-day look like?
Yeah, so I'm one of the co-founders of HDM Solar. We actually started 3.5 years ago, where our sister company HDM Energies was the main business really, and we set up the wholesaler to basically provide materials for the energies proposition. I don't know if you've seen more recently, we've just announced a partnership with British Gas, which we're all excited about.
Is that for commercial?
Yeah, it's commercial. It's all SMEs supplying a PPA proposition to SMEs up and down the country.
Wow.
So we're really excited about this. It's all commercial, nothing's domestic whatsoever, and it's funded by one of the biggest banks in the UK as well. So exciting times on that front. But yeah, we started 3.5 years ago. We've had a very interesting ride, you know, and the solar space right now is an exciting space to be in. So we've got some ambitious plans, and we love working with, you know, people across the industry like Taj and our other fantastic independent and national wholesalers. So yeah, let's watch this space.
Cool, lovely stuff. And Taj, yourself, just tell everyone who might be watching right now who doesn't already know yourself and Power Warehouse, who you are, what you do, when you started, and what you've been up to.
Cool, yeah. So we started sort of, I would say, around a similar sort of time as Adam and HDM, about 3.5 years ago. I'm the founder and CEO myself. My brother came along and joined me as well. So we run the business together. We're based here in Birmingham in the Midlands. And yeah, we support our installers nationwide from our base here in the Midlands.
Cool, nice. Yeah. And Colin, who has travelled over from Northern Ireland,
Yes.
please share with everybody, well, who you are, what you do, and what you've been up to.
So my name's Colin Campbell. I'm head of sales for BHC Distributors. BHC Distributors have been running now for over a decade, serving both Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland. It's actually a family-owned business. Lovely people to work with. Yeah, I've been in the industry now for almost 4 years. I've seen the industry change quite massively, actually, within probably the last 18 months. And we cover between panels, roofing kit, car chargers, batteries and inverters, and most recently the Hinen all-in-one system.
Cool, lovely stuff. Now, obviously, Colin being based in Northern Ireland and gents covering the UK. What do you think an installer might need in Northern Ireland that potentially they might not need in the UK, guys?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think we'll put a funny side on it first of all. They're probably going to need waterproofs and an umbrella because the weather is horrible. But no, on the serious side, let's look at like certification and grid rules in UK versus Northern Ireland and Ireland. So in Northern Ireland we have got G98 and G99 NI, and most recently our G99 NI Fast Track. UK also has this, but they're actually two different sets of certification. So a product that actually sits on a warehouse shelf in the UK doesn't actually mean that it's sellable or installable in Northern Ireland or Ireland. So actually meeting these certifications and knowing your market is very, very important. So I would say that's probably the most important thing for somebody working in Northern Ireland, Ireland or the UK.
Cool, lovely stuff. And Taj, in terms of like grants and schemes, and well, to be fair, open question really, it'd be great to hear all your perspectives. There's different grants and schemes available. You know, obviously the bus scheme, there's the Warm Homes loan coming out soon.
Yep.
How do you think these things affect like the market in terms of like what gets sold? And I don't just mean like brands, I mean like, you know, volumes of panels or batteries, different inverter sizes. What do you think these grants and these schemes do for homeowners and for installers?
I think if we're talking about the UK, the schemes that are available here, we used to have Eco, which was huge. Of course, that's come to an end now, and it's going to be replaced by Warm Homes. To qualify for this grant, you need to hit certain criteria based on income and also the EPC of your home. I believe Warm Homes will be running in a similar sort of way. In terms of the products that tend to be fitted for these schemes, social housing included, they tend to be a little bit more on the price sensitive side of the market, I would say. Still good kit. I mean, most of the products, I think Adam will agree here, they're all tier one pretty much these days. So not to say the kit isn't as good as what you might get in what we would call able to pay or resi, but you could say the kit is perhaps more budget friendly. When it comes to regular installers and homeowners who are able to pay for the goods, I would say that we've definitely noticed that there's been a much bigger demand coming forward for more battery storage. So I would say that's probably the biggest difference, I think. And even, to be fair, even now with the schemes, I believe with Warm Homes there will actually be for the first time a subsidy for batteries, which is very new for the UK. We haven't had that before. It was always either string inverters or hybrids. So they're starting to add it slowly, but now what I've seen for the able to pay market, they're not just having battery storage, they're thinking in different ways. They're like, okay, I can have 5 kilowatts, or I could have 15 kilowatts. I could make use of time of use tariffs. I can charge my battery when it's cheaper. I can discharge it. You know, there are VPPs available that can buy and sell your energy in global markets. So the conversation for the able to play market has changed drastically. It's not just the case now where, you know, they just want panels and a small battery to get their payback back as quickly as they can on reduced bills. I think now it's more about, okay, how much capacity of battery can I afford, but also use in different ways. So I would say, yeah, that's kind of the difference.
The affordability piece, like you mentioned, then is key to this. I've been fortunate enough to travel around quite a bit of the world, speaking to various different people on renewables, and countries like Australia, you know, they're at the forefront of rebates and various things, and they're smashing it. You know, 50,000 installs a month, which is, you know, fantastic. And a lot of people are talking about this warm homes plan. A lot of people, and ultimately it's about making solar as affordable as possible. You know, prices have come down significantly over the years. It's now a lot more accessible than it's ever been, and it's doing the right thing to protect, you know, people in terms of energy poverty, in terms of protecting the environment as well. It's doing the right thing on that front. But I can, from the research we've done so far and speaking to lots of people, the warm homes plan is going to be a game changer.
I think so.
Yeah, without a doubt, we're going to see significant installs. Our issue will be making sure Hinen and other people have got the right stocks for us, so we can, you know, get it to site as quick as we can. But it's an exciting time, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. And as well, Adam, just to sort of build on that, what does a manufacturer have to do to earn a place on the shelf with yourself and HDM?
Yeah, great question. Well, fair play to Dustin. He's been hustling for a few years now, to be fair, and it's hard work. You know, there's lots of manufacturers seeing what the UK is doing, and they want a slice of the cake. Yeah. Dustin's been here. He's invested, or the company has invested in Britain. British people working, and you know, we're in this warehouse right now full of stock. So fair play to them to get, you know, on our shelves.
Not for much longer. So
Indeed. But in terms of obviously HDM Solar, we've got criteria. We vet all our supply chain. We go out to China. We make sure that everything's done properly. So we're only using, we call it tier 1 in panels, but using the right type of companies to work with. And then we're excited to see where we can go with this brand as well. So still very new to us. We're still learning a lot more about the product, and the launch today of this new product's exciting,
And pricing will be revealed today, so stay tuned, it is coming. But also yourselves, guys, like, you know, you both sell different brands, different manufacturers. What is it that a manufacturer needs to do, or who do they need to be to get a place on your shelves? And also the ones that potentially you would drop as well, or have dropped.
Just to add to Adam's point, I think it's, you know, it couldn't be more accurate. There's a lot of products in the market. You know, there's a massive choice for us. Like, you know, a lot of brands come and go. I think once we make the commitment to purchase, once we make the commitment to buy, localized support and presence is paramount. But it's easier, I would say, to get onto the shelf as opposed to staying on the shelf. You know, it's very easy for myself, Colin, or Adam to send a purchase order and buy stock, right? But if there's no support, if there isn't a localized presence, if the installers can't, you know, pick up the phone and speak to someone to help them out and diagnose their problems, that's the issue. You know, so if they're able to stay and they're able to grow with us, you know, that's what it's about.
There's so much choice. I went to SNEC recently. I thought I knew quite a bit about solar, and I got to SNEC and thought, I've not seen 95% of these brands ever. It was just a whirlwind, if I'm honest. So, there's a lot of criteria that we need to obviously get on our shelves, and fair play to the guys that are working hard to you know, bring affordable solutions, because that's what it's all about, getting solar out to the consumers as quickly as possible and giving them a really good proposition. But for me, really, it's about support. You know, we call ourselves the installers wholesaler for a reason, and all they care about is support. They want to fit and forget and not worry about, you know, going back time and time, because the more time they go back, that's where the margins are getting reduced, and these installers are not cheap as well. So
100%.
You know, it's about support. It's about investing in, you know, British people, and more importantly, having call centres and really good backup for our installers.
And an open question really for all of you guys. There's got to be a bit of like a juggling act for installers, right? You know, they want really, really good pricing and they want free delivery or next to nothing delivery, and they want it tomorrow or they want it yesterday.
Yeah.
What is the balance to keep an installer happy? Because, you know, they can't have everything, but they can have things that maybe matter most to them. What do you think those things are to keep an installer on board?
I think, you know, looking at it from my perspective, you know, Northern Ireland and Ireland is actually quite a small knit community. So relationship building and news travels extremely fast.
Yeah.
So it's actually building the relationship with your installers. Installers now are really spoiled for choice on product, like the guys have said here. So coming away from just looking at direct data sheets and direct spec sheets, it's the actual stuff that happens behind closed doors that really will get installers to continue to buy from the likes of BHC distributors. So it's the backup support, it's the customer service aftercare. It might be design and helping installers actually get their project across the line, and it's offering them the correct credit terms and everything else that goes along with that. So relationship building for us is a key factor. And after that, then it's the backup support and keeping that customer happy so that they know whenever something potentially goes wrong, whenever they phone us, we're going to help them, we're going to fix it, and we're going to have a happy customer at the end of the day.
And particularly with Hinen on that, like, how did your journey with them start? And what was it where you thought you might have been laying in bed at night and you thought, you know what, yeah, I could take a punt on this?
Yeah, I think, you know, just reiterating what Adam had said, you know, Dustin was really hustling, very strong. He is a very knowledgeable guy. I think the product really sells itself. You know, the spec that it has, the backup support that it has, the add-ons that it has for the actual installers and end customers, particularly on the app and the commissioning side. That's what really blew my socks off. There's a nice piece on the app itself. It's a one-stop check. Whenever the commissioning has been complete, they hit the app, they hit the button on the app. The installers will then actually be able to see if there's anything that needs to be addressed before they leave install. So that's great peace of mind to know that whenever you've left site, that actual install is good to go for the customer. But again, to reiterate, the backup support that Hinen have available is incredible, and they're probably 10 out of 10 are setting a standard for the industry right now for that.
Yeah.
It's value proposition, right? There's so many installers now, over 5,000 installers on MCS register, and how do we differentiate? For me personally, it's the logistics piece as well. So we've pushed a lot on logistics, hence why we've strategically chosen different branches around the country, because solar's become a national game. It's not just a local area now. We've got installers who are one-man bands, but they're driving 3 hours away to do installs. So we want to make it as easily accessible as possible. I know Taj is doing exactly the same, and it's about providing that level of service as a value proposition. You know, there's other things that you can do as well. That, you know, training's a key part of it. We at HDM we set up trade counters to start with. We thought trade counters are going to be the way forward, and after about a year of not seeing many people on a trade counter but growing rapidly, we thought, what can we do with this space? So we changed them all into training centres of excellence, and we're really leading now the training piece. You know, we've had over 100 training sessions this year alone from manufacturers, and
that's great.
It's upskilling the industry, and it's upskilling, you know, people to do a proper job. There's been so many sharks in this industry, and people not doing the right install, and consumers feeling like solar's a bit of a, you know, an issue with installers. So yeah, it's about value proposition. You go back to your question, it's what else we can offer them. So it's not just moving boxes, and nobody wants to be a moving box, because then the price comes down, you shift the box, and it's that. What else are you doing for them? I think that's really important.
I agree, and I see it quite a
Likewise.
lot. Like some people, like we've got quite a few installer clients, and trying to educate them on the fact that sometimes, like, you can get a discount from a wholesaler, but a discount is only worth anything if you can then sell that product to someone. Otherwise, it's just like, well, it doesn't really do anything for that installer. So all of these different things that can be done through manufacturer support or wholesale partnerships, where, like, for example, Adam doing the training. You know, different sort of marketing incentives, rebates, things that are going to push these people to actually want to grow their businesses. Because I think there has been a massive thing around installers just kind of like relying on word of mouth, referrals. But actually, this industry doesn't have to be so like, you know, either sometimes demotivating for an installer to want to grow in because either they think it's too expensive to invest into their business or they think there's nobody out there to help them. But actually, you know, events like these do highlight that
Absolutely.
people do work together and there is more support out there for these installers. So yeah, I think that's really, really important. Adam, HDM is tracking 50 million in revenue in its 4th year. So what is it that you saw that potentially like your incumbents didn't?
I think people like choice. You know, there's been some legacy companies that have been doing it a hell of a lot longer than us, and really good companies out there. But you know, people want choice. People want something different. And we had the beauty of setting up after everybody else, and we chose a lot of good things that they do, and where their weaknesses are, we obviously exploited them. But we work really closely with everybody. And that's what a lot of our installers probably don't see is our job as a distributor is just to get the job, get the stuff to site. Wherever we get it from, however we do it, all the madness that happens behind the scenes, it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant. And that's been...
You just have to do that little bit more, right? You have to go the extra mile. You have to give the service, you know? If you're willing to do that, your business will continue to grow. Your customers, the installers, they'll see that you care. I think that's important.
How do you think you guys, or what do you think you guys could say to installers to just make their lives like easier when dealing with you? Like, are there things that installers do which you just think, maybe if you just told me a week in advance about this, I could have got it done? Do you think there's an element of like, there's these things that installers could just learn from to make dealing with you easier?
Every company's different. Yeah, they're all different, but it definitely has become more of a next day delivery type thing now. You know? When we started this journey, well, I've been in solar many years, but usually you've got weeks notice, and commercial customers obviously ordering it months in front. But now it's become
too last minute.
I mean, we had our biggest customer actually used to send us like 50 kits on a Thursday and need them everywhere around the country pre 9:30 the next day. But when I say Thursday, it weren't like 9 a.m. in morning, it was like 2 p.m. So we had to change the structure of the warehouse team, their working times, you know, how our logistics operation arrived to collect the goods, and there are a lot of unnoticed things happening. So more notice the better. You probably agree with that.
Look, 100%. Like I always, whenever I'm talking to my installers, my sales guys, I'm very clear. Look, we want to give you the best service. We want to give you the best service possible. We can only do that if you give us as much notice as you can. You know, if you give us more notice, we can give you a better service. Yes, we will go outside the box. We will go the extra mile. We will pull things out for you because that's what we do. But, you know, more notice, the better.
I think as well, it's very important, I believe, to one, when you're speaking to the installer, find out what their expectations are.
Be clear.
Totally.
Be clear.
And I think, you know, the next natural step from that is introduce them to the majority of the team within BHC, whether that's technical support, whether that's logistics, whether that's finance or whatever it may be. They then get a full picture of what the company's about, what's possible, what's not possible, and how can we work it in between times. So it's building that relationship with the installer and actually asking what their expectations are, and then you can work from that also. But we still get, we need that yesterday.
You'll always have to move mountains.
No.
I don't think that's going to change.
I think those things just remove that like key man risk as well.
That's it.
You know, if someone knows, if you've got a team of 10, they know who they can go to. If you're not in, then they can pick it up with so-and-so, vice versa. So no, I totally agree. And
that's the beauty of the independents like us, because we're more flexible, more reactive. We don't have the breadth of stock and the financial backing that some of the bigger guys have. But in terms of somebody picking up the phone and saying, I'm in the shit, can you get me out of it? Nobody's better than us to get it sorted.
And that's arguably more important sometimes than having, you know, billions in the bank. If it means that someone just becomes a number, how long does that last, right?
Problems happen, you know, and we understand that. Installers even understand that, but it's how we react to it, how we help that installer get across the line without actually the homeowner seeing any of the madness in between. It's just the way of the world, it is the way of the industry, and we expect that to a certain extent. So it's working with the installer, and back to what I'm saying, let's work with your expectations
Yeah.
and build a relationship around that.
Yeah, yeah. Just to add on that as well, that is what it is. I mean, Adam's touched on it as well. Being independent means that we can offer that personal service. We can answer the phone after 6 o'clock. We can reply and get things sorted over the weekend. So yeah, that is what we need. That is what we do.
WhatsApp messages at 10
WhatsApp,
p.m. at
yeah.
Absolutely.
Trying to get off to sleep. It's like, yeah, I'll sort it in morning.
Yeah.
bud.
Yeah, that's it.
Not to mention holidays as well.
Yeah,
What holidays?
what holidays?
Nice. So, Adam, another one for you. So, you mentioned already that you run free training for installers. You've done 100 sessions this year. It's a bit of like an open question, really, as well, guys. But for yourself, especially Adam, because you've got so much experience with it, who do you think should be paying for installer competence? Should it be HDM? Should it be installers? Should it be,
I think it's a
governing
collective.
bodies?
I think everyone needs to upskill themselves. Without a doubt, it's a collective. But wholesaling is quite rife at the moment in terms of competition. So how do you differentiate yourself? So that's how we've tried to differentiate ourselves as training excellence. But it is a collective. It should be like we've got electrician courses, we've got plumbing courses. The future is we want solar experts, we want that to be a career. We want people to grow up thinking, I want to do that because my dad did it for a few years, and it becomes an actual profession, not just I've been a sparky before, I've been a roofer, and I might just actually jump into this. So I think from a training point of view, it's a collective of different institutions.
I think to touch on Adam's point as well, it's only going to benefit the industry as well. The more the guys are familiar with the products, the more they're familiar with regulations and certification, great, they're going to go out, and realistically, does installers really want to go back to a job that's caused a problem? No. They start to eat into their margin, starts causing problems for the homeowners, etc. So the training piece is absolutely massive, and like I say, it's probably a collective across between the installer, the wholesaler, and the actual manufacturer themselves. It's going to benefit everybody in the long term. So I think it's a no-brainer that this should happen on a regular basis. Absolutely.
No, we have to work together. That's what it's about. We have to work with our supply partners. Our installers have to be involved. We have to run sessions. It's good for them as well. It gives them an opportunity to meet our suppliers, speak to the supply chain, speak to those guys in tech that maybe they haven't seen before, build their own relationship with them, and we're the bridge in the middle. So we have to work together to make sure that they understand, our teams understand, and they know how to install.
It's the accessibility piece as well. Everyone wants to upskill themselves or upskill their staff, but if they have to drive 6 hours, they're not going to do it. It's a 12-hour round journey to have some training. So it's having the access. Wholesalers need to do more, definitely. There's a lot of us, so within the branch we need to do a hell of a lot more. But it's the access part of it, without a doubt.
Yeah, totally agree on that as well, Adam. Yeah.
Cool. Happy days. And on that, because if training isn't accessible or it's expensive, what's the consequence of people jumping on the bandwagon potentially who don't have easy access to getting trained up or to getting accredited? Are there things coming down the track for installers that you guys don't think that this industry sees yet?
I think installs are getting easier. I think the all-in-one has made it that way. There's less wiring and all involved. But if you have an installer who doesn't necessarily know how to commission, the one that we always used to get when we did a lot more split systems was having the CT meter the wrong way around, things like that. But if they are an electrician, if they're working towards their MCS, I think the products in the market are making things easier. But definitely we should still be running these sessions to make sure that they are 100% comfortable and there aren't going to be callbacks, because in the end, if there are callbacks because of installer error, then it's going to look bad on us for supplying the product and on Hinen or any other manufacturer that we might be working with. So we need to come together, we need to work together, and
the
that's
industry
what I
is
think
maturing without a doubt, and the level of installations are getting better. Like you mentioned, it's really simple to install now as well. We've all seen LinkedIn some rogue installations because lots of people like to put them out there, don't they? So, but without a shadow of a doubt, it's getting better, and there's definitely a new crop of people coming in now who either been electrical contractors before or whatever and thought, I can do some solar,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that it's really important to make sure that we upskill them straight away.
Yeah.
What about everyone who is going to be jumping on the plug-in solar bandwagon? What do you guys think about that?
I think, do you know what? It's fantastic. I do believe, is it the 27th?
Yep.
Yeah.
27th of August for the UK. There's still no clear date in Northern Ireland or Republic of Ireland. But I think it's a fantastic opportunity for homeowners to actually go into that entry level of solar and actually prove to them that this works. I think it's a great incentive. I see it, having a massive uptake. You look across Europe, specifically across Germany, plug-in solar is huge over there as well. So it's definitely going to be exciting times. But back to training piece and back into leaving homeowners actually understanding how these work. It's a great way to get them into that.
Yeah.
And I believe once they have 3 to 4 months of actual proven data, they will look at it and go, okay, this is great.
We'll get a
When
proper
can I get
install
my
sort of
bigger
thing,
system?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've been surprised. I've been surprised how slow a lot of the manufacturers have been to get products available. It's launched in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
We've been working on it for about 3.5, 4 months now. So we've got a proposition that's out there, and we've already made sales on the back of it. But our opinion is it's an add-on to what we're currently doing. It's not going to take over. It's not going to be the the be-all and end-all. But it's going to help. It's part of what we should be doing as well. It's another thing to add on to the solar landscape in the UK.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think that does for you guys, though? Like, do you think from a trade level, do you see basically B&Q and Homebase coming in and taking that market of people?
Well, I think it's geared towards end users, isn't it? So it's I mean, just on what Colin said earlier, I mean, it's a great way for those customers, those end users to get a feel for what solar could be like for them, the savings they could possibly make. I mean, I'm not 100% sure on costs yet, but I imagine it will be maybe 25% the cost of having a small 10-panel, 4.5 kilowatt system.
Quid.
Even cheaper than that.
Yeah,
500 quid.
Yeah.
So there you go. So it's that cheap. So it's an easy way in for an end user. Kind of like an impulse purchase if it's that cheap, isn't it? Really. So if they can see the savings and then maybe look at what they can do to add to have a real big system. So yeah.
You're right, Keelan. That's the route to market.
I agree.
Your big chains. It's your big retail type companies who've already got 1,000 or hundreds of thousands of consumers, because that's not our market. We're not good at dealing direct with end users. So our route to market is through them, and then obviously through to consumers.
Yeah.
Cool.
But there's a huge what's the word I'm looking for? Opportunity.
Yeah.
And we're working with one of the biggest retailers in the country actually, and the first order is 1,000 units.
Wow.
Like, this is the level what they're looking at so far. So we're they're really excited about it, and that's why they've been with Desnes and various other people. And that has to be the route to market. Let
100%.
them deal with the customers, 'cause that's what they're better at, and we do what we're better at.
That way, and obviously websites as well, eBay, Amazon, end user, websites like that, marketplaces. I think we'll start to see it there as well.
I think it's a great add-on to the market as well, because people that are really interested in solar and actually want solar, they maybe don't have the property that actually suits that.
Yeah.
So they probably feel like they've maybe been penalised, for not having that correct property. Now it's actually offering them to have plug-in solar on their property and actually being able to help on saving their bills as well. So it's a fantastic two-prong effect. And I do believe, I've heard some headlines as well that you may be able to possibly purchase your plug-in solar from Lidl.
Really?
Yeah.
Down the middle aisle.
Correct, exactly. So it's going to be, you're going to be picking up your bananas and your eggs and your
Plug-in solar.
Your plug-in solar at the same time. So it's interesting times ahead for sure.
Nice. Cool. Guys, thank you very much. Right, coming up, we are going to be joined by another industry titan, Jason Howlett, who is the CEO of the Energy Storage Association. And we're going to get some wonderful insight of essentially what it takes to become a part of an organisation which stands solely and wholly for the purpose of battery storage. So Jason will be joining us shortly. Jason's got a ton of experience in this industry. You know, ex-CEO of a global manufacturer brand, Give Energy, and over the last year, of course, stepping into the role of CEO of the Energy Storage Association, also affiliated, as I overheard him saying earlier on, well, it sounds like he does about 100 different things: property development, renewables. You know, I don't know if you ever get any time off by the sounds of things, mate. Welcome.
Welcome, yeah. Time off for good behaviour occasionally. Come and do these things.
Yeah. So you've been well behaved recently then. To come and do
Absolutely.
this. Cool. Nice one.
Man of many talents. Also Ned to HDM as well.
And Ned to HTM amongst them
Yes.
things too, yeah.
I know, I was looking at like your link, like just over the last year on your LinkedIn, it was like Jason has started a new position at da-da-da-da-da.
I've stopped doing it now. I was like, yeah, even
Yeah.
I'm sick of hearing it. It's like, yeah, so I don't put that on.
Nice one. So, Jace, the ESA is barely a year old. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you've already had a House of Lords event with a minister in the room. So, could you just talk about like the surprises maybe you faced over the last year alone?
Yeah, so it's been about probably a three-year plus journey to sort of create the ESA. But we launched officially last June. We launched in the House of Commons, so which was great, and then we elevated ourselves to the House of Lords back in June, where we had two ministers, not just one. So we had Michael Shanks and Lord Whitehead, along with Bill Esterson, who is chair of the Energy Security Net Zero Select Committee. So that's an all-party select committee, as well as Baroness Berger, our chair. And I think, you know, the great thing for us, I think, is the reaction from Whitehall departments. It was the gap that we recognised was missing, being that voice of the industry that just wasn't there. And I think I spoke to a number of people in DESNZ before we launched. I said, who do you talk to? And they said, nobody. That's part of the problem. We saw issues that really frustrated me previously. PAS 63100, the installation standard that was then adopted, really didn't address chemistries and safety standards properly. We've managed to force that into review. And I think, you know, the great thing for me is how we've been literally pulled. You know, most days I'm speaking to one Whitehall department or another. So yesterday I was with DESNZ. You know, we've had numerous webinars with Department of Business and Trade, GB Energy, NESO, National Grid. You know, so it proved what we needed to do, and you know, it's been brilliant that we've had backing from Hinen, who joined us, people like HDM. Again, who's joined us. Taj has just told me he's joining us. He didn't really have to start there.
No, we need to have a conversation about it. I mean, it's been busy for myself, but yeah, we will be joining the ESA as well.
Strong armed.
Oh, there we go. Look at that
No,
exclusive.
we will.
You heard it here first.
Yeah,
right?
first.
We're
Don't
joining
run away
everybody.
Even
We are
first for me.
definitely
The event though, Keelan, that were a great event, by the way. Really well put together. And the speakers, I learnt so much about, you know, we see politicians in whatever light you see politicians, but to see them how passionate they were about the industry, and some really like good nuggets of information about what's happening in the Ukraine war and how we can learn things from that about our grid system, where we've got independent batteries everywhere. It makes us less of a target for someone to try and take our grid down. It was just fascinating event and really well put together by Jason and the team. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, thank you, mate.
Lovely stuff. So the Future Home Standard, that lands in March next year, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So every new home needs solar equivalent to 40% of the ground space.
Yep.
What would that cost us in terms of delivering that, or what has it already cost us by not having it previously?
I think, you know, it's a massive boost, obviously, to increase generation. We, obviously, at the ESA, are really frustrated actually by the Future Home Standard because it doesn't incorporate storage. And I think it's one of those elements of when you're building something new, it's very easy to install it. It's much harder to do retrofit or increasing cost for sure. But if you're designing something with it in, you know, and the house builders, they will literally save a penny if they can save a penny, because you multiply that by thousands of houses, it multiplies up. So they don't want to spend any extra money. So I think it's really important that you know, they are encouraged through legislation, because it's not something that they naturally do. Even though the research says that the value goes on a new build property that's the solar. But I think one of the big things for us that we are lobbying, and it was one of the big frustrations, that people hadn't been lobbying for storage, because we're seeing it with the Warm Homes Plan, where we are adding heat pumps, batteries, solar, with energy efficiency as well, where you need all those 4 points. But yet we're continuing to build housing that doesn't include storage. And yet we know we've got increasing generation at certain times of the day, where we need to make the homes more sustainable. This isn't. I was actually chatting with an economist yesterday who's doing a study, and we're talking about this. We can't keep building problems and then expecting government to fund things with retrofit, and but that's what we've now done. So we've introduced, or we're about to introduce, 2 major policies. One on retrofit that says you need a battery to make everything stack and work, but we're going to build new houses that don't need batteries, and that's a massive travesty, really.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's happened like that? Because it seems like it contradicts itself massively.
I'd like to think we played a little part in some way, because one of the first things before we'd formally launched as the ESA, Mayata Farnborough, in her previous DESNES role, before she's now Secretary of State, she championed the Warm Homes Plan. And I was on a small group that included, in a small round table with Mayata. And so we were getting that message across. But the Future Home Standard is one that's kind of been built over a couple of years, and just didn't have the lobbying and the people pushing as an industry. And I say a lot of things, I can only blame ourselves as an industry, and I've been in renewables 20 plus years. We did not do a collectively good job at pushing that. So I can't necessarily blame government if nobody's pushing it, and there's so many people telling them things. Who's the one standing up for storage? And that's why the Energy Storage Association was created.
Well, there wasn't anyone, was there?
No.
No one was. I mean, if you look back through from Eco 1 to Eco 4, there was never any incentive there to add battery storage onto a hybrid inverter ever, even in social housing. So now that it is happening, it's fantastic. It's a good thing.
I think the frustration that everyone has, driving through these new build estates, and you see 2 panels on a roof and you think, I can just do my washing machine. That's why storage is so important, because there'll be so much more value to them new builds by having storage to grid trade at peak times, sell it when it needs it, etc., than just what that 2 panels is going to do. Yes, the 40% is going to help, but it's not solving it. In a perfect world for us, we'd absolutely fill the roof full of solar, because it's actually going to do the job of what the household consumption is. So for me, storage is even more important. Yes, house builders always talk about cost. We know what that industry is like, but batteries are so much more affordable now. This is not 5-6 years ago where they were thousands and thousands of pounds. You could pick up batteries relatively cheap. On a 400 grand house, I don't know what the average house of a brand new build these days, but let's say even say 300 grand, adding 2 grand of battery storage on a 300 grand new build,
it's nothing.
It's nothing.
It's
Absolutely
nothing.
And it's
Nothing.
added in straight away from that. The point you're seeing it is likes of Octopus Energy and Zero Bills Homes. Put all the technology on a home, you get no energy bill for 10 years. That's what they're offering, and they've only announced it quite recently. I saw it on LinkedIn about the time with Santander. So it's starting to add that into the mortgage, and then you're really starting to build a proposition that you add it onto your mortgage, you're putting, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 pound a month on your mortgage, but you're saving 200 pound a month on your energy bill, and they're factoring that in. So you can now suddenly afford more in your housing, or afford more in your life than just these things. So trying to look at this as a solution for the homeowner, rather than just what's the best thing for the construction companies, is massively transitioning.
Are you by any chance seeing, being who you are and what you do and the projects you're probably aware of, and you might be able to share, you might not, but are you seeing any energy consultancies come together with developers, and maybe there's a bit of private equity involved, but essentially new build developments, say 600 plots, where the incentive is for the person funding it to fill the roof with solar, put batteries in, and then the people buying those homes, and this kind of leads on to my next question, but they essentially move into a VPP and they buy their energy directly from the private equity or whoever the hell.
Not seeing anything like that, but you've almost described the Zero Bills Homes concept, which obviously you move into a home with the Octopus Energy tariff, and you're not paying any energy bill for 10 years, unless then over and above the EV. So if you have an EV charge, that's outside. But your domestic consumption for all the electricity, so it's electrically heated and powered in your home. But that's the nearest thing we've got. But we're seeing some of those house builders now getting on board with that. But for me, it was a no-brainer because it was kind of like, why wouldn't they? But again, it's that upfront cost.
Yeah.
The developer, even though and Octopus have done a number of studies on this that highlight the value of that home to the homeowner is so much more than the extra cost that the builder's putting on.
Yeah.
Now with Santander coming on board with the financing arm, you're seeing the whole circle become, because now they're factoring in that in the loan. So that was the piece that was missing to make that, because suddenly, even though it's more valuable, nobody was taking into account when you're doing your expenses and working out what mortgage you can afford, nobody was factoring in, well, there's no energy bill.
Yeah.
So you can afford this mortgage
Yeah.
relatively easier than you would have done without the technology on board, because your actual costs would have been a lot more.
Okay, wow. And on the, I just thought about the British Gas piece as well, Adam. Just because, obviously, are they launching a new PPA offering, or is it? It's been a thing for a while, has it?
Yeah, if you go onto their website, you'll see it's launching soon.
Okay.
So it'll be targeting SMEs on that commercial space and offering them a no upfront solar solution. I mean, the whole proposition is fill it full of solar panels, put batteries on.
Batteries included in the PPA?
Batteries, included exactly.
Wow.
Also EV charging, and it's to give them a full proposition so that, one, they don't need to worry about bills, but also doing the right thing as well. Lots and lots of companies. The research we had, again, sitting down with British Gas when they've done their sessions before, 82%, I believe, people wanted solar, just couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
This now gives them that full opportunity to take it.
So Adam, just on this, then, is it the bills are completely free, or are
It's
they
no
going to have
upfront cost
no
for
upfront
the
cost for the
installation,
installation.
and then they just pay the bills moving forward.
reduced bills,
But
whatever they
it's
might be?
between 20 and 30% reduced bill from day one, which
Right.
is incredible. Imagine going to any user of energy to say, "Hi CFO, can we reduce your bills by 30%?"
Yeah.
Yes, please, and you don't have to pay anything up front
Yeah,
for
how
it.
much
as
that
well.
cost me?
Criteria
Nothing.
for that?
Yeah.
Because from my experience working with a few different PPA providers, they have like a sweet spot. They want someone using 250,000 kilowatt hours a year.
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
criteria with British Gas?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. It's the British Gas HDM Energy's proposition, and we go down as low as 30 kilowatt systems.
Wow.
So a lot of the bigger guys in the industry that have been doing it for years, including Octopus and various others, they don't look at anything lower than 500 kilowatt. Just not interested.
Yeah.
They want to make some money.
Yeah.
Due to the ecosystem we've set up, where we're purchasing through the wholesale, we've got our own logistics piece. Obviously, we're using installers of the wholesale. We can make it a lot more affordable for our customers, and as little as 30 kilowatt will fund as well.
So someone doesn't need to necessarily use 30 kilowatt hours of energy per hour, right? They just need to have a 30 kilowatt system, or do they need to have a big enough usage so that they can buy 100% of that 30 kilowatt array when it
obviously
generates?
the lower it goes, the parameters change. But I mean, you're looking, current bills are what, 29, 30 pence commercially.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some of the prices I've seen being quoted so far, like 20 and 21 pence.
Yeah.
It's incredible,
Yeah.
just to reduce your bills overnight. And
Yeah.
people are struggling,
Yeah.
especially businesses.
Mm-hmm.
We're targeted with, the increase in national insurance and various things from, local councils, etc. And it's a challenging time for a lot of businesses up and down the country. So if we can take a burden off them, some of these manufacturers, they're spending tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds a year
Yeah.
on electricity,
Definitely.
which is
100%.
insane. And
Yeah.
we can, no upfront cost. There's no gimmicks. There's no anything around it. It's we'll do a survey. We will tell you your consumption is this, and we'll put this on. And the rest is
What's the lifetime value of the system? I mean, how are you going to maintain and look after the system for what, 10 years, 15 years,
Yeah,
20 years?
so again, it varies on what the customer wants to achieve. So
Right.
it's as little as 15 years up to like 25 years, and right at the end they spend £1 and they buy it. It's just their
Then they
system.
just let it go. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
why British get with. It was over a year ago. In fact, it's Jason who might take a lot of credit for this. He introduced us to a couple of, let's say, important people in British Gas, and it took us over a year. And I won't take any credit. It's all Dave and the team at HDM Energies that have done it. But for them to partner, they saw the proposition, and we need to get solar on every rooftop. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a big rooftop champion. Yes, I understand the farms, the solar farm space. I get it. If you're a farmer, you get £1,000 an acre. Are you really going to turn it away? But
Probably not.
It's all about rooftop for me, and that's
Yeah.
what this proposition's about.
Yeah.
We're really excited. You know, we're thinking thousands and thousands of customers over the next
Amazing.
however many years.
I think
That's
so
great.
as well. Interesting. Okay, Jace, Hinen are an ESA member.
Yes.
So, what does joining the ESA, for example, what does that do for someone like Hinen or any other members that you have?
The great thing, and it's brilliant, I think Hinen and HDM were probably two of our very first ones who jumped on board after the founders that we had, and sort of seeing the value. What we're really trying to engage with the manufacturers is that representative voice. So I think we've got a number of current consultations going on where being that collective voice, creating a standard. We had an instance back in December where DESNZ paused a deployment of batteries on their eco-funding schemes because they were worried that there wasn't technical standards. But actually what we pointed out was there were technical standards. It wasn't just in one shiny brochure, but the ENA type testing that goes on, the BS standards that have to be achieved. So we highlighted all of those, and within about 3 months they unpaused, which was great. But that's that collective muscle of the industry working together, distributors, manufacturers, energy companies, academia, charities. We've got a wide cross-section of membership that's presenting a view that can inform, because many of the government departments aren't experts in this. They're willing to learn, but they need to be given a consistent voice. So for us, tackling some of the big issues around impending cybersecurity challenges, safety challenges, interoperability, and working in the VPP space, who's giving government, be it DESNZ, DBT, or DBIST as they now are, following the reorg, even place like the Education Department for Education, that have now been coming to us and saying, well, we want to put storage on schools. Well, what should we be doing? So helping advise and giving that collective voice from a number of different manufacturers that highlight what's going on. So, the great thing is the more people we have on, it amplifies the voice that we have, and then really represents the cross-section of supply chain that's involved here. So, we've been great. We've had a number of manufacturers, and say, Hinen, I think we're definitely one of our first outside the founder members to join. So I'm delighted that Dustin took that leap. But I think for me, it shows you've got manufacturers who are serious about the UK market, who are serious about delivering the standards that we need, delivering the future solutions and system approach that we need. And that's been the really encouraging thing for myself.
How many members have you got now?
I think we're up to about 40, so which in the first year, is brilliant, and increasingly, bigger and bigger names that have joined us. So Seagen joined recently as, and their CEO has joined our board. People like Solis. We've got others, big names that have agreed to join us just this week. So I think it's just building all the time, because I think the thing I'm very passionate about. I paid member fees into trade organisations before, and it's kind of felt like dead money. Like, what am I paying this for? And I'm obsessed by making sure we deliver value. So our working groups, I've got 4 different working groups that focus on real value, delivering real technical insights that we can share with government. We produce information every week on what's going on in the market, every month, all the policy, which is about 11 pages. I read it because I have to proofread it, and I'm like, wow, this is brilliant. I wish I had it when I was running a storage company, because it's all the information is there. We're running webinars and networking events, which you opened with, and we're planning our next network event in October, which we've got an amazing guest speaker, which we haven't yet announced. I'm almost tempted to give you that, but I was like, but not yet. But we got that. But we got that. But because I've been in the industry a while, I'm through different organisations that I've worked in. I've got a very good network that I can engage with. Hopefully, trusted and respected to take our industry forward. And I've said it to a number of people. I do this voluntary. I don't run the ESA for salary. I don't take a penny from the ESA. It consumes probably 60% of my working week, but I do it for nothing because I'm so passionate about making a difference. And that, for me, I think is quite compelling. Then when I talk to other people, and this isn't a job for me. I could go out there and earn good money. I do this because we need it. The industry needs it. The country needs it. And it's then brilliant that we can take this forward.
100%. Very interesting. Nice one. Thanks. So on that, a couple more just around essentially the future of this industry in the market. One being 0% VAT on installs, and that is coming to an end in March next year. You want that to be made permanent?
It's an option.
It's an option.
Not the only option.
No?
No.
Okay. So what is the argument to the Treasury?
I think, we've got to make it easy for people. Adam touched on it there, making it easy for businesses. How do we make it easy for homeowners? We're just actually in the process through our policy working group on signing off a paper that we'll put forward to Treasury and DESNZ. So, but it's like, how do we make it easy? And one of the big things that we are talking about right now is salary sacrifice. So actually so there's two choices here, because it's government subsidising things. That's what we're looking at here. So do they put that subsidy in extending VAT, which is great, simple, easy, or do we put that into the offset on income tax? There's a number of things being factored into and solutions for with the Warm Homes Plan for social housing, and that's an absolute must. But that cliche, the forgotten middle, I think, how do we make it easy for them? We buy an EV and we can put it on salary sacrifice. We can buy a computer, we can put it on salary sacrifice. A bike, it can all go from our wages. But if we can actually create that solution, and we've had an independent research being done with a university into this, and say in my inbox at the minute is the white paper to sort of sign off and before we submit that. So it's very much something that we're pushing. But we go, what is the best, and presenting options rather than just go do this, because everyone keeps government do this. So what's going to be the best way? And I actually think VAT, as much as it's a nice to have, it's still a barrier to making it easy for people, that you go, right, well, take it out your wages, take 50 quid out your wages every month, but save 70, 80 pound on your electric bill. And you get in your energy bill. So I think this again makes it really helpful. So for us, I think it's presenting options for government that we can then work through and deliver solutions. But I think making it easy is definitely a thing. We've seen the pricing drop anyway. So there's an argument that would say, well, is a VAT removal the end of the world if it went back on? And if I'm speaking truthfully, no, it's not necessarily the end of the world. But making it easier for people to access this without the upfront capital, like Adam talked about with businesses, how do we make it easy without the upfront capital for the homeowner who's scraping by, not classed as in social housing or in poverty, but still struggling? That for me would make a massive transformational approach. And I was talking to an organisation yesterday. It was a very busy day yesterday, just on about consumer behaviour and on what's actually happening in that space. And that upfront cost and the hassle of working it all out is still one of those barriers. Whereas if it's saying, well, do it, take it out your wages, it becomes simple. I don't have to think. It'll all be done for me. I don't have to work out what product I want, whatever. It'll all get sorted for me. That becomes very, very compelling.
It sounds like quite a sensible option as well. Interesting. Okay, cool. So if you were able to give any advice to Hinen and other ESA members of what is required to just have the most success and sort of less path of resistance in the UK market, what would you share with these people?
We get asked a lot. I do a lot with departments of business and trade in China about, there's a lot of Chinese companies looking at the UK. It's one of the hottest 3 markets in the world, I think, so a lot of people are doing. And I think what I've always applauded with Dustin, who I've known for a number of years now, is that commitment to the UK. You've really got to be, not just want the market, you've got to earn your place in the market. And I know that, Hinen have put the hard yards in, they've invested in the people, they've invested in the facilities, they've invested in time to get to know the market. You don't just turn up here and sell product, because people want the technical support, they want the backup, they want to know what happens if it goes wrong. That's fundamental. The installer needs to know, well, if I'm having trouble on this site for some reason, who do I talk to? And I think that's a really, the great thing. And I think most organisations that have really succeeded here have gone down that route. And so whenever I do presentations to potential manufacturers looking at the UK market, I always talk about those things. And there's a cost to that. And I have no idea what the accounts are, but I don't suppose Hinen have made much money in the UK for the last year or two while they've put that effort in. But they're now seeing that benefit, understanding the market, understanding the people, building relationships with people like Taj and Adam, and then going and proving that they're here and they're serious. And that's, there's a cost, and marketing costs. Well, to create a new business always is recognised as a cost.
We've also seen distributors come in and think they can do it on the cheap, and within 18 months, 2 years, they've gone back to Europe, and you've got to invest. We like to buy from our own, don't we? We want people to speak to. We want support. We want, it's not just I've got a product, do you want it cheap? There's more to it than that. So, and fair play to Hinen, they've invested. I'm really impressed.
Likewise, and I think it's going to be, plain sailing for them. I think one of the first conversations I had with Steve was, because myself and Jordan, we asked, why are you guys not already massive here? We've known of Hinen for about a year, and we started recommending them to a few of the clients we work with, and there's been some uptake, and we've been to installs, we've seen it go in, and then obviously the new A series product and the B15, and we sat down with Steve and we were like, why are you guys not really massive? And he said, because we wanted to just get it right. We've invested into R&D, we've taken the time to learn the landscape, and now we're going to pull the trigger, and that's exactly what they've done, and that's why we're sat here today celebrating the launch of the A series. So I think, especially when we reveal the price coming soon, I think they're going to have a huge amount of success, and at least I hope that they do, and I'm definitely proud to, and all of us proud to be a part of that. Okay, cool. So Adam and Taj, utilities who are selling batteries direct now, such as Octopus, I think they've just come out with their own product. Nook, is that what it's called? Nook. In 5 years, is the independent installer going to be buying batteries from utility companies, or are they going to be buying them from you guys?
Independent installer?
Yeah, so installers currently buy from Power Warehouse, they buy from HDM. Will they be buying their stock through utility companies in a few years' time?
I don't think so. No, I think that now that the utilities are entering the market, the likes of British Gas, Octopus, that's more a way in for end user. So if the end user can buy through British Gas or Octopus, I think it's more about how it's going to affect the independent installers. If the independent installers are competing against the likes of Octopus and British Gas, then it could be more competitive. That could be an issue. But I don't think I don't think there's going to be conflict between the independents and the likes of the utilities companies getting involved in the market. And I personally don't think independent installers are going to buy from utility companies unless you have a different opinion, Adam.
I mean, the space is huge.
It's massive,
growing.
yeah.
Yes, they've got their own market share and they're doing really well from an installation point of view. We're referring to Octopus. And they use a lot of installers to get that out there to their customer base, but I can't see them changing their business model to become a distributor.
It's different.
It's very different. Lots of people think they can do it. I have some really good chats with our installers. We're like, we can do what you do. All right, try it. And then within like 6 months, this is not what we're good at, and it's just use us for what we're good at. You know,
You got to remember, it's not just batteries and inverters. It's batteries, inverters, panels, rail, AC materials as well. You know, breakers. You know, you can imagine it's a lot that goes in together for that one kit that we provide as a service for our installers. So I think the question is more about where's the end user going to go? Where are they going to buy it from? Are they going to start to buy from the likes of Octopus or British Gas, or are they going to continue to buy from the independents? I think that's probably something that you know we can discuss.
I think the biggest challenge a lot of energy companies have, they're massive. You've got to be agile. Distribute, you know, I ran Siegen historically, as you guys probably know, and it's like, you know, you've got to make those deals in the moment.
Yeah.
You've got to make that call. Is this the product we're going to go with? You know, products are short, products are running out, products are abundant. How are we going to get rid of this? Everything's got to be done in the moment. I mean, it's a brilliant industry to be part of. It's the cut and thrust. You never get bored. and you know, it's as much as every day is the same, no day is the same, because you've got the new challenge with the new product. Oh, God, you know, so-and-so's come out with a new product. We've got 300 in the warehouse. What are we going to do to shift those before this hits the market? That agility does not suit corporates because they've got sign-off processes, and by the time they've gone through 3 people to sign something off, then they've missed the opportunity or missed, you know, the challenge. And we've seen it slightly only through acquisition that Good Energy bought some very good installers historically, and part of that they bought Trust Solar, which was a small distribution down in the southeast. They didn't run it for very long because it was just too hard. But it's not their model. It's logistics. It's all about logistics.
It's logistics.
You've got to buy smart, sell smart, and all that. It's not rocket science, but it's hard
harder.
And you've got to have that mindset. And energy companies haven't got that mindset. That's why they're good at what they do. And wholesale and distribution is good at what they do. And so I can't ever see it. You can see some of the plug-in stuff, you know, the off-the-shelf, which can be done, but they'll need a distribution partner. They're not distribution specialists.
And I also think that the independent installers won't really have issues competing or coming up against the likes of British Gas and Octopus. I think it's different. I think when an installer, an independent in a localized area, has a phone call with a prospective client who wants solar, he goes to the home, he does the survey himself, he builds a relationship. And I think people still want that. People still crave that interaction, and they want to be comfortable with the fact that they know who their installer is. They know where they are. They you know, they've seen them face to face. I don't think that will change. I think people will always prefer to pay a little bit more to have a real relationship with their installer, to have the trust there, and with us, the products that we supply them.
Do you think there's an opportunity with these manufacturers like Octopus producing their own products, British Gas through a partner as well? You know, these guys have got millions and millions of pounds for marketing, and there's a massive opportunity for their products to storm the market. What happens to installer businesses if that's the case? Do they still have them, or do they just basically become subcontractors to these guys?
I think just on the point that I mentioned there, Keelan, I think that although, yes, they've got heavy pockets and they can grow at scale and they will need subcontracted work, I still think that private residential local installers have a niche. They still, a lot of them that I know and I supply, and I'm sure Adam does as well, they take pride in what they do. They take pride in the products that they choose. They take pride in how they get their installation done. You know, many of them have had multiple conversations with that homeowner, you know, and they've built that trust there. So although perhaps that it could be the case that some of the volume does go to the big nationals, I do think that the independent installer will definitely still have a place in this market. It's huge, as Adam said, it's growing. I don't think so. What do you reckon, Adam?
There's a place for everybody. And I think one of the really good things we've got currently happening is lots of independent distributors. We all help each other. And like I said earlier on, like we do a lot of the unnoticed stuff. You know, we buy from each other, make sure we get it to site quick, and it's just getting the job done. You know, energy companies are going to do what energy companies do. Like Jason said, they're not as agile, but they offer a really good proposition. but they're not manufacturers. They're not manufacturing their own product. They're not distributors.
Mm-hmm.
They're not installers. They're
Yeah.
also using other installers. So, yeah, let's just watch this space. Let's see what happens. There's lots of exciting things happening in the industry. So, I'm not really concentrating on that side.
I think the other good thing about, with every energy company who's involved in this, it just highlights the positivity and that it's the right thing to do. The fact that E.ON, the fact that Centrica, the fact that EDF, all of and Octopus all offer this, it says, because it's the right thing to do. So it enhances the industry's reputation. And it's sort of publicised. They like to go for the sort of easy to install, but those what really need a lot of thinking, they want to move on. There is a market for everybody.
100%.
Some people want more of a relationship with the installer, that want to know that they can pick the phone, that it's Bill, it's Joe, it's whoever that they're going to talk to. Others don't care. I just want it cheap and whatever. So, but people want different things from that relationship, and that's what the market can provide.
I agree, and to be fair, that was sort of like devil's advocate type questioning. All of my clients are installers, and most of them are petrified of nationals. They don't need to be. There's 20 million homeowners in the UK who still don't have like a renewable technology installed on their house. A lot of our clients would be quite happy doing 1 or 2 installs a week. Octopus, who are doing 1,000 a month or something like that, you're not competing against them, and you never will. So I do agree. I think there's a place for absolutely everybody. And I think it was when our relationship first started, Taj, that I sort of found out for the first time that wholesalers buy from other wholesalers. And that for me was like, you know what, that's great, because I think there's a massive like dog eat dog sort of stigma in this industry. Installers think that someone's creeping over onto their patch and taking their customers, and I'm sure there's an element of that in the distribution level as well, but it doesn't have to be like that. Like, people can help each other out, and
we do, Keelan. We do.
Exactly.
We help each other out. Myself, Adam at HDM, a lot of other independents across the UK. We all help each other. We do move fluid. We are reactive, and we do our best to make sure that the kit gets to the customer when they need it. If that means that I have to call Adam at HDM to get an inverter or a battery I might not have, then I can do so. So it is good like that. We all do help each other, and the distribution side of this industry, I'd say, in the UK isn't exactly massive. I think we all know each other. We all know where everyone is, and it's very easy to pick up a phone call and pick up a phone or call someone and have that conversation. So
I think that's one of those things. Sorry, I think one of those things that you guys do and a lot of others do. It's like, we've got that relationship with the customer. We don't want to let the customer down. We don't want to make it hard work for the customer. We'll take that hard work away. Go, right, if that's not there, it's like doing your home shopping, isn't it? And you go to Tesco and you go, oh, now I've got to nip to Asda because they haven't got a few of those things. Well, no, Tesco are going to get nip to Asda and bring it to the checkout by the time you're there. You go, wow. That's what wholesaling is doing. It's trying to bring that simplicity to the installer, to make it as easy as possible. That you go, I value your business. I will make it easy for you to do your job. Leave it with me. If I don't have it, I had a great analogy with a guy. I was actually based in Port Talbot. We were talking about Port Talbot earlier. It was down there, and he said to me, I was in a completely different business. He's like, every time you say no to me, he says, the problem doesn't go away. So I've got to go then and find somebody who can say yes. He says, all I want you to say is yes. And that's what the distributors do. It's like, yes, of course we can supply that to you. Put the phone down, then, oh my God, how are we going to do that?
It was like this weekend, Tad, wasn't it? Like, you called me up because we were doing the first B15 install down in Plymouth with Matt from Lumos, and the whole thing came together within like 4 days. I called Matt. I was like, contract signed. Can you please go to Plymouth tomorrow for the survey? It's like, yeah, fine. 3-hour journey there. And then I was saying to Dustin, right, Taj is going to send the battery down there, and he calls me up on Saturday because I sent him like the kit list at half midnight.
I was teasing you a little bit.
And he's like, "Do you think I work weekends?"
I was taking the piss a little bit.
I was like, "Mate, do you think I work weekends?" I was like, "I'm trying to get this. It's the first in the UK, but
I was pulling your leg a little bit there. Yeah, of course I did.
Exactly.
I had a bit of fun with him, and then I was like, "Oh, don't worry, it'll be sorted."
Make you sweat a little bit.
Yeah, but as you were saying it, I thought you are gonna move the mountain anyway. And you did.
I mean, to be fair, Dustin dropped it to me on the Saturday, so I went to meet him at my warehouse on the Saturday. We had to take it off, put it on a pallet, and then our Monday, I was pulling your leg a little bit because all of our Monday morning deliveries go out on Sunday.
Yeah.
So when I said we don't work on weekends, I always have someone in on Sunday.
Yeah, I know.
So we
I was thinking,
you know,
how did they get into your warehouse then?
yeah. No, we
No,
do
the
it.
magic.
Of course
It's
we
the
do, yeah.
magic.
Exactly. Right, and I
Yeah.
think on that, it is time to reveal the early bird offer for installers. The new Hinen A series inverter and B15 battery, you can of course buy from the likes of Power Warehouse, from Solar Hub, from BHC distributors, and I believe HDM also. For the first 300 orders of the A6000S single phase inverter paired with a B15 14.4 kilowatt hour battery, limited to one per installer, the early bird offer price is £1,999. If you're an installer watching this, you can click the link in the caption, which will take you through to the Hinen website where you can register to become a Hinen approved installer, and you can then be passed on to one of the distribution partners, whether that's Taj, Adam, Colin or Will from the Solar Hub. And for £1,999, limited to one per installer, you can buy an A6000S 6 kilowatt single phase inverter with a B15 14.4 kilowatt hour battery. Obviously that is an outrageous price. Like the pricing is, you can agree, I think everyone can agree, that is an absolutely nuts price. So that will only last. It won't be.
Yeah.
There's 300 available, right? So once those 300 have been sold, those bundles, it's gone. But after that, we are able to share the RRP initially as an early bird offer price for a battery only purchase for installers is £1,850. I'm not sure exactly how long that's going to last. I think it's for the first month or two, I believe, after this launch event. But again, while stocks last. So £1,999, you get 6 kilowatt A6000S inverter and a B15 14.4 kilowatt hour battery. So click the link in the caption, go through to the Hinen website, fill out the application form, and Hinen will be in contact and pass you over to a distribution partner in your area. With that being said, I think that is absolutely everything. Guys, thank you so much for joining the event. Is there anything that you'd like to leave the audience with, whether it's your own customers or consumers or prospective installers watching this? Just anyone in the industry, what would you like to say to them about Hinen and the fact that they're about to storm the UK?
I think, given the launch price that you've just announced, I think that commercial barrier that might have been there previously has been completely taken away. I think we've discussed it throughout today. The support is here, the product is here, and just try it, give it a go, see how you get on.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to help you guys out as well from a distribution side, and give it a go.
Just to echo what Taj said then, it's making solar affordable. That's what we're all about, getting access to it and getting it out there as rapidly as possible. So fair play to Hinen. This is a unbelievable offer. We've been in this game a long time, never seen prices like this before. So it's great that manufacturers are also doing their part as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Happy days. Jason?
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. Let's say Hinen have put the hard yards into the UK market, understanding what they need to do, putting that product in the right place with the safety features, everything that's sort of there is, it's brilliant. And I think then going, right, okay, we're serious. Here we go. Let's get the brand properly out there, work with the right people, building up those partnerships with the likes of Taj and Adam here, and then going, right, this is what we're now ready to do. So I think it's ready for off. I really wish them well and hope it lands well with installers and homeowners.
100%.
Cool.
Yep.
Happy days. Lovely stuff. I believe we have, throughout the last couple of hours, we've had quite a few questions coming in from the audience. And what we want to do is we actually want to get Isaac back, technical manager from Hinen, just to answer a few different questions from the audience that have come in about the product and about the industry, and basically things that our friend Isaac would be primed to basically answer, essentially. So Isaac is back and he's joining us now. And I'm just going to ask him a couple of questions that we've We've got, so one question, Isaac, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's from Andrew Bristol. So he's asked, mine will need to be AC charged until I can rearrange my roof layout. How do you interpret that? What does that mean for you when someone is getting this B15 and the A-series inverter?
Yeah, so I'm guessing what he means, like the solar panels aren't fully set up at the moment, and that's perfectly fine with the inverter. So obviously, you know, you have certain times where your tariffs can be higher or lower, so we can set your system up through the app, through the Hinen Solar app, and you can set it up to charge the batteries from the grid, from that AC side, and charge them when your energy's cheap, so that you can, you know, not paying that much for it, and then turn that back to normal when the energy's more expensive, and then your batteries just act as normal, cover you throughout the day, and yeah, you won't have to pay for electricity, besides from those cheap times where you force to charge the batteries.
Cool, lovely stuff. And we have from Melopanga, they're interested, but they don't understand if solar panels are actually required for a Hinen install.
Yeah, so obviously, you know, the solar panels do help a lot because you can generate that electricity yourself, so you don't have to pay for it. But like I said before, you can set up your inverter and your batteries to charge at specific times of the day and charge from the grid, so you don't need any solar panels at all. Just as long as the inverter and the battery is connected to the electricity grid, you're all good to go.
So there's a ton of people out there who could basically get a battery-only install just so they can benefit from the off-peak rates, use that whilst the energy is expensive.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
solar panels are not required at all.
Yeah, just the batteries and inverter, and yeah, like you said, connect it to the grid and you're good to go.
Cool, happy days. And
Yeah.
are there any other things that you would say to a homeowner, maybe other features or benefits that you think, you know what, these are quite cool, and this is why I would potentially get a B15 battery if I was in that position and I'm exploring options?
Yeah, so with the batteries, like you said before, it's got all those safety features. So you know it's got that top-notch safety, you know, everything's good to go. And yeah, it's got that sort of home backup as well. So it's got partial home, full home backup. So in a blackout, you can still have power provided by the batteries. And then it's also got that built-in, what we call changeover switch. So you can flip that power coming from the batteries to the grid. So if in the rare case something does go wrong with the inverter, you'll still provide power from the grid, so your house will still have power and you won't notice it at all.
Cool, happy days. And just to hear it from Hinen themselves, could you please confirm the early bird offer price?
Yeah, so like you said, it's that A6000, so the 6 kilowatt, and it's also the 5000, so the A5000 all-in-one series inverter with that B15, the 14.4 kilowatt hour battery for $199.99.
So it's the A6000 or the A5000.
Yeah.
So you don't get both. It's one or the other.
One or the other.
Cool. Happy days. And the battery only install price guidance right now, just for the B15 14.4, that's £1,850 while stocks last right now, right?
I believe so, yes.
Cool. Happy days. Well, thank you so much to everybody for tuning in today, installers and consumers, technical managers, other manufacturers, people within the industry. This has been the Hinen A-Series launch event. My name's Keelan James Devereaux. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're a consumer or a homeowner looking to get in touch with Hinen, please also click the link in the caption above and you can get in contact with Hinen directly to ask any questions that you want. And you will also have the opportunity to speak to a distributor or one of their preferred installation partners. So with that being said, this is the Hinen A-Series launch event coming to an end. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching, and we'll see you soon.